September 3rd. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Allen? Darnall?
Here.
Tacoma?
Here.
Cordella?
Here.
Marshall?
Here.
Rumble?
Here.
Thurman?
Here. Okay, now we need to approve the agenda. I would like to make a correction before we do, and that would be new business item C, Parks and Recreation purchasing procedures. I would like to add and hours of construction. Okay, and then we also have a change to item E, clerk, part-time van drivers.
Is that in lieu
Part-time
of the...
employment of van drivers in lieu of part-time employee life insurance.
It replaces,
Yes, it replaces.
so now we're looking at what again?
Part-time employment of senior van drivers.
Okay, thank you.
I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Marshall to approve the agenda as amended. Is there any other discussion on the agenda? Okay, seeing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, the agenda has been approved unanimously as amended. So we can open our public hearing tonight. We will be having a public hearing on truth and taxation. So this is your opportunity to speak to the board regarding the millage rates that we plan to levy. And so what we'll have to do is open our public hearing. We'll ask anyone that wants to speak to that to step up to the podium, and then we'll close our public hearing for that. So who would like to make a motion to, the clerk would like to make a motion to open the public hearing? And Trustee DePalma will second.
Who made the motion?
Clerk Allen made the motion, and Trustee DePalma seconded the motion to open the public hearing for truth and taxation. And let's do a roll call. Just-
Rumble?
Yes.
Allen?
Yeah.
Darnall?
Here.
Tacoma?
Yes.
Cordella?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So now the public hearing for truth and taxation is open. If there's anyone that would like to speak regarding the millage rate, please come to the podium.
Hello, for anyone that doesn't know who I am, sure will call. I live at 440 South Avenue. I just wanted to make a comment on the millage rates that were published in the paper and the increase in the police operating rate. I understand that we approved, as voters, approved a new millage for this up to 4.25, and that you are proposing to levy the entire amount of that, of course reduced by the Headley Amendment, which brings it to 4.1204. I just wanted to share a few numbers with you. That's an increase of 0.32 mil. That would increase the budget by $272,000, which is a 13% increase over the budget last year. Some of that is due to the increase of the millage, and some of it is due to the increase in the values of property in the township. I just don't feel that this is a time nor is it necessary to do an increase in taxes. There's been a lot of discussion in the township about trying to attract young families with children to fill up our schools and to make this an attractive community. We've done many things, but one of the things we haven't done is look at our tax rates. We are higher than any of the communities that surround us, including Oxford, Groveland, Goodrich, you know, all of them, Independence Township. If we left it at the current rate, because we have had a significant increase in the value of the property, we would still be putting $89,000. Now, I had a discussion with Kathy, and she said the reason we were doing this is to increase the fund balance for possible future needs. But we currently have a budget in that of about just over $2 million. We have a fund balance of $900,000. That's a 45% fund balance. And if we added another $89,000 to that, we're approaching a 50% fund balance. I don't know that it's necessary nor required to have anything higher than that. I haven't seen a budget. Typically, when you're looking at levying these taxes and approving the millage rates, I know for the library, we prepare a proposed budget so we know whether the tax millage rate is going to be adequate for what we need. I haven't seen one of those presented for this. I know you'll do your budget later in the year. But I think you should think about whether we really want to have an increase in our tax rate when, based on the numbers that I've looked at, it's not necessary. And you also have a letter in your packet that Kathy got information from the MTA saying that you had to levy the entire amount the first year. And from the research that I have done, you do not. You can levy what you want up to the $4.25 million. So I think that should be part of your discussion. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to truth in taxation? All right, seeing none, we have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Support. Okay. I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by treasurer Darnell. The clerk was trying, but she just wasn't quite loud enough. And since I don't think we need discussion on this, let's go ahead and do a roll call to close the public hearing.
Allen? Darnell?
Yes.
DePalma? Yes. Cordella?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. The public hearing is now closed, and we'll move on to our reports. First, we have our monthly treasury report, our monthly general ledger report, and designated report, and also our reconciliation report. We have a building department report. I wrote a note on, although our new builds are down this year compared to last year, the revenue is pretty close to what it was last year at this time, and that has to do with the permits for the new storage facility. Then we also have a Edna Burton Senior Center report and a CDBG report, which brings us to trustees' reports. And Chris, would you like to start us off tonight?
Yes, I can start us off. There's the planning commission, and absolutely nothing. We haven't had any meetings. We had meetings in August. I haven't heard any meetings about in September. I haven't heard of it. I mean, in concrete.
They're tentatively might be one, the second meeting date, 24th, is it? But they're waiting for plans for the mini storage on M15 to come in.
I thought the sign outside said there was one on that side.
There's not a piece of it.
I haven't been aware of that.
It's reserved?
Oh, it's a
Reserved.
village piece. No, it's a village
Oh, it's the
piece.
village. Oh.
Yeah.
So what about, can I ask, what about the
Storage.
ordinance that we asked them to look at?
As long as the
regarding
second
the-
If
report
they have
is
the
Tuesday.
meeting, we'll have the ordinance there. So, and once we.
I didn't catch the question.
The animal ordinance revisions, those will go to the next PC meeting that you have.
Right.
So if that PC meeting does happen, we will let everyone know.
Absolutely. And also, after last week's meeting or whatever, one of the last meetings is questions about what the heck's going on with the Taco Bell. And it's on everyone's mind. And the last that we heard from the owner / person that wants to build the Taco Bell is she basically stated, this goes back a month and a half, that she's having a hard time finding a contractor that's going to build a building at a reasonable rate, because right now the building in this entire southeast Michigan area is incredibly high. And so she's in a holding pattern. That's what we heard, that's what we were told. That's all I can tell you folks, unfortunately. That's all I've told us. So we are waiting also. We heard that they were going to try and start it by fall for snowfall and all that. So let's hope that happens. That's it.
All right, thank you. Trustee Marshall?
I've got nothing.
Okay, trustee DePalma?
I met with the retirement oversight committee and we went over our audit, and nothing's really to report on the audit. We talked about the percentage of our funding that has changed, and a lot of that's changed because interest rates have gone down.
And that's for pension.
And that's for pension, correct. And we didn't talk much about the OPEB, we didn't talk about the OPEB actuary that came in. And then but we didn't really do much. We didn't bring anything to the table for the board yet. So there's not much to report, we just met and discussed things. And then Parks and Rec Subcommittee, we met to discuss things, which probably will discuss later with us, so.
All right, thank you, trustee Romo.
Yep, nothing to report really, but just looking forward to Septemberfest. And that Saturday, I'll be around all day working at the Hastings Lodge pancake breakfast in the morning, and then working with the Lions Club all day Saturday afternoon. So in the beer tent and other activities. Trustee Marshall's gonna sing us some songs somewhere around there in town. But that's it for me tonight.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings us to the treasurer's report.
We are nearing the end of the summer tax season. We've received 2 of the 3 big banks that are done electronically. The one remaining contains about 1,800 parcels, so needless to say, we're swamped with taxes. Remember, the last day to pay taxes without penalty this year is September 16th, because the 14th is on a weekend. So remember, we no longer accept postmarks, so make sure to give yourself enough proper time to get your taxes to the office. And if you have any questions, call the office.
Thank you. Clerk's report. Oh, okay. The special election on November 5th will have one item on the ballot from OCC to renew their millage rate that expires in 2021. Permanent absentee voter ballot applications were mailed on Friday, August 16th, and we have had a steady stream of returns. A completed application is necessary for each and every election. Carla Spradlin, CDBG monitor, came out to audit our program for year 2017 books and discussed the upcoming workshop for 2020 funds. Both Rosalind Blair and I attended the 4-hour audit. We have received 2 applications for part-time bus van/van drivers at the senior center. Both will be interviewed and given a 2-week trial period to see if this job is a good fit for everyone involved. The porch lights have been replaced and the irrigation system has been repaired. This is at the senior center. And maintenance performed. This should be good for several years, since it's been at least 7 years since anyone checked it out. I will be attending this, she will be, attending the Senior Auxiliary Board meeting on Thursday, September 5th at the Edinburgh Senior Center. And she will also be attending the Oakland County Clerks Association 3rd quarterly meeting on September 18th in Clarkston.
If she can talk.
And she hopes the fire chief gets well soon. You're welcome. Okay, for the supervisor's report, cleanup day was on August 24th. We had 97 loads brought to the event. That was at the Rainier Township Community Park. And I'd like to thank Scott Broughton for volunteering to help at this event. Thank you, Scott. The next no-haz collection is this Saturday. I couldn't find any volunteers, so I will be working this event. It will be held at Oakland Community College from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. The cost to the Brandon residents is $10. And for more information, you can go to nohaz.com or come into our office for a nice no-haz flyer. The Oakwood paving project has been completed and construction is still taking place on Sashbaugh Road. And it's been difficult for those living on Sashbaugh, but I'm sure once it gets finished, it'll be nice. The Road Commission for Oakland County is completing their 5th and final round of grading with chloride this week. And the census is taking place in 2020. We have been asked to form a complete count committee to encourage households to complete their questionnaires. So please let me know if anyone would like to participate on the complete count committee. So just send me an email or give me a call. And that's it for supervisor's report. We can move on to our correspondence. Tonight we have CBA meeting minutes of June 26, 2019. We have Oakland County Health Network letter and also a MERS quarterly report. So at this time, we can move to citizens' comments, and that would be on agenda items only. And during citizens' comments, we ask that you stand at the podium and direct your comments to the board. We will be happy to answer any questions at the end of the meeting. Please state your name, and although it is not required, we also ask that you state the city, township, or village in which you live. Comments shall be courteous and limited to 3 minutes per speaker. So if anyone would like to make a comment on an agenda item, now is your opportunity. We have a lot of quiet people in the audience.
Yeah, it's the end of the summer.
Okay, so I don't see a mad dash for the podium, so we'll move on. There's no discussion items this evening. We do have a consent agenda. On our consent agenda, we have regular meeting minutes of August 5th, 2019, special meeting minutes of August 19, 2019, special meeting minutes of August 27th, 2019.
Supervisor, if I may, I'd like a correction made on that one. It shows that trustee Rumble and myself were not in attendance. We did show up.
This is
And we were
the 27th.
The 27th, yeah. And we were directed away. I understand not a lot happened, but
if anybody wants to be counting what meetings we attend and what meetings we do not attend, I think it should be noted that we were actually there.
So noted.
Thank you.
And that meeting was a meeting to, it was supposed to be a joint meeting with the village, and the fire chief was gonna go through his budget for next year, and the fire chief became ill, so it was kind of a last minute, do we have this meeting, do we not have this meeting? So I think we're gonna be discussing protocol for that later on in the meeting, but I appreciate that you did attempt to come. So we have regular bills in the amount of $193,720.87. We have prepays in the amount of $290,993.27. We have township benefits from payroll account of $30,213.21, and trustees' timesheets in the amount of $1,632. So would someone like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda as corrected?
So moved.
Support.
So what got corrected was showing that
Just the minutes that
they were there.
Yeah, we actually showed up.
entered and turned away,
Yeah.
or came and were turned away. Okay.
There until okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Jason, motion, make the motion or second?
Second. Bob made it.
Bob. Okay, I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as corrected by trustee Marshall, and it is seconded by trustee Rumble. Is there any further discussion on the consent agenda?
I just wanted to make a note that I had missed, I knew when I was doing my time that there was another Parks and Rec subcommittee meeting, but I couldn't find it. I was doing it at night, so the office wasn't open, I wanted to get it in. So I missed the 8:15 one. I don't mind, we don't have to change it, I can just put it on September if that's okay. Okay. So I just wanted to note though that this month, since this is the month it's supposed to be there, so I'll just put it on September.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Marshall, seconded by trustee Rumble to approve the consent agenda as corrected. Yeah. Seeing no further discussion, we'll do a roll call, please.
Darnall?
Yes.
DePalma?
Yes.
Cordella?
Yes.
Marshall?
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes.
Allen? Thurman?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. And we have no unfinished business this evening, so we'll move right into our new business. Our first item of new business is a blacksmith shop request. And we have a request, written request from Ron Sutton to, they would like us to make a contribution to purchase materials to build a blacksmith shop at the site of the old mill. And they want to let us know that the village of Ortonville has contributed $2,000. So, in looking at our budget, we don't have $2,000 to spend in public relations, so we will have to make a budget amendment to cover a $2,000 expenditure. So I have that written as part of the motion. And you need to abstain. Okay, the clerk is asking to abstain. She's the treasurer of the Ortonville Historical Society. Okay. Okay, so, do we have to vote on that? Okay.
Yes. Has to be
All right, would
unanimous,
someone
too.
like to make a motion to allow the clerk to abstain? Does anybody else need to abstain? So I can get it all done in one motion? Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. All right, I have a motion by trustee DePalma, and it is seconded seconded by trustee Marshall, to allow the clerk to abstain from the motion regarding the blacksmith shop request. Correct? Any discussion? Okay, we have to have so many.
We have to have
Yeah.
It has to be unanimous, so we should.
So we have to do a roll call, please.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen, Darnell,
Yes.
Thurman?
You're
Yes.
abstaining.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Motion carries unanimously, so you don't have to talk anymore, Curtis. Okay. So we have a suggested motion to contribute $2,000 to the Ortonville Historical Society for the blacksmith shop and amend public relations, line 101-944-754-000 from $3,000 to $5,000, and amend the Blue Care Network and Blue Cross Blue Shield medical insurance, line 101-944-910-000 from $175,000 to $173,000. So it doesn't look like we're gonna spend all of our medical insurance, so we're just moving money around in this same cost center.
Can someone let me know what this community blacksmith shop is for? Of why they're looking for donations? Like, what are they doing at the blacksmith shop?
Maybe we can have a representative answer that question.
They're gonna do blacksmithing.
Yeah.
Everything, they're gonna show people how to do it behind the mill. They're gonna build the blacksmith, whatever they call
It's over
it.
by
So
Schwartz.
are they selling stuff, or is it just, that's,
All right, Mary Alice will answer your question and let us know how that will operate.
I'm Mary Alice Sealbinder, and with me tonight is my husband Arnold Sealbinder and Mary Kusuba. We are 3/4 of the committee for the blacksmith shop. The other one is Ron Sutton, and he's absent tonight, so I got the job. I see you have already proposed that it's a possibility of $2,000, right? Is that in your, that nothing has been done, okay. Well, let me tell you a little bit about the blacksmith shop. It's been on the wish list of the Historical Society for about 20 years. Well, then we got an opportunity to do demand school, so we took that. And we've been working at this museum for 50 years. Refurbishing it and building it into a beautiful museum for Ortonville. And then we did the man's school, which is very well accepted. And now, to add to our little village, we'd like to add our blacksmith shop. And at this time, we got a little boost from donations to bring us to the decision to do it this year. Gwen Hamilton Wyatt, she is the daughter of Jack Hamilton and Emily. And she, a year ago, she gave us $5,000 to be used for this. And then the Historical Society, about 10 years ago, wanted to build a blacksmith shop, and we took up collections. We got $3,200, and we decided it was too much for us, we just couldn't do it, so the $3,200 went in the bank. We still have it now, so the Historical Society has voted to use it for this purpose, so we got a boost. We've had other nice large donations, and we're well on our way to the $23,700 that we need. And so we have a builder, we have our foundations in, we have the floor in, and a lot of this work has been done in kind. We haven't paid for it. Everybody's been very good and generous to us. So we're hoping that this will give you an opportunity to add a little to it. And we have never asked the township before, but this time we made an exception. And the village is trying to do their part to So we're well on our way, and we wanted to get an old building and do like we did with the band school, but we couldn't find anything but what was a piece of junk. So we decided to try to build a new building and make it look old. So this is the first time we've attempted this, so hopefully we'll be nice and successful. We've got a good builder, he's hired, we've commissioned him already, and he's got tons of work, so I don't expect him to start building till a little later in the fall. And, but once he starts, I know we'll go fast, and there has been a resurgence in the art of blacksmithing as of late. The antique tools of blacksmiths would use in the antique shops we're in have doubled, tripled, quadrupled in the amount of money that you pay for them. A simple anvil can cost you $900 to $1,000, a big one. So we've got a lot of that material because it's been donated to us over the years. So we've got a good start there too. So we hope that it will be as successful as our other endeavors, and I'm sure that it will be. And we have the community behind us. And we thank you very much for your time to hear us tonight and to share our good fortunes with you. And we'd like to add this to our little village there. And hopefully we would get some young men interested in taking lessons in blacksmithing, and that's kind of our goal. So wish us luck, and we thank you again for having us tonight.
Do they have to be young?
Is there any questions?
I said, do they have to be young? What about old guys?
Well, you know, only if they have white hair.
Oh, okay, okay. If I may, I'm excited about this prospect.
Oh, wonderful.
I think it's only through understanding our history that we fully understand our future. So I think it's great. And,
You know, once
if you don't teach me how to do it, I'll be up there hanging around anyway, just watching.
Okay, well, we have a neighbor, Tom Roberts, that's a blacksmith, and he operates over at the antique shop in, where is he? He's in the shop over at
Davison Road and
yeah, Davison, and the old motorcycle shop.
A little bird's whispering in my ears, bird.
And he's got some right out of his house too, and he has offered to help us teach blacksmithing. So we're really excited about that. And so that'll give us an opportunity to teach them. If we can just teach a few people how to do it, that they can come back and help us to demonstrate to the public. And on your picture, you will notice there's a very large out in front with a fence around. That's been requested by the fire department for safety's sake with the fire, to keep the onlookers a few feet away while it's in progress. And we can't have it in the building because of the fire zones, but we have pulled all our permits, everything is done. The piece of property fit on the creek side, and Amos Orton came here in 1838 and built a sawmill. And I think the next thing that came was a blacksmith. If you didn't have shoes for your horses, you were out of business.
So the forge will be outside.
Yeah, the forge will be outside when we're using it. The rest of the time it'll be inside. Now, you know we're closed in the wintertime, so it'll be all summer and into the 1st of December that we will be showing it. Any more questions?
Roughly how big is that? Just curiosity. How big is the shop?
It's just small. It's only 12 by 24, 12 by 24. And it's all the larger that really a blacksmith shop needs to be. And we hope to be able to display some blacksmithing tools and some other tools on the walls that people would be interested in. So I think it'll make a nice addition to our complex over there. And
Will the Historical Society be selling the things that are made by the fair?
well, we have not discussed that. I don't know that we would be doing that. Maybe, it would all depend on if the person that's making it pays for their own iron, you know, their own materials, then they probably can take them home. So I'm hoping that's the way it works, but maybe someone make a few small things that we could sell. Good question. Yeah,
Now, this is a separate standalone building?
this is its own building, and we're positioning it.
Which side of
It's
the,
on the right side of the creek, it's on the creek side, between the schoolhouse and the creek.
West of the school.
Yeah.
okay,
And
just
we
trying
didn't know if they're with
to,
code,
saying they've already broken ground on this?
pardon me,
They've already broken ground
There's
on
a
this?
cement slab out there.
Oh, okay.
we didn't know with code and everything.
For whatever reason,
we
I
have room,
haven't
but-
seen that, or I haven't noticed it, I guess.
Yeah.
So, okay, just wondering. Thank you.
And in the olden days, you always found the blacksmith shop on a creek because they had to have a bucket of water to put their iron in to set it. And so that's why we wanted it on the banks of the creek. So hopefully I'm sure we'll have a nice building to show you, and when we have an open house, you can all come.
Thank you, Mary Ann.
Any others?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any discussion? I would like to say that I'm also a member of the Historical Society. I would like to member, I just haven't been to any meetings. So I don't know if the board wants me to abstain as well.
I think it's up to you. If you want to, it's fine. If you don't think you need to, then don't worry about it.
All right.
I agree with that.
Okay, is there any discussion on the blacksmith shop?
I would make a motion, a suggested motion to
Okay.
contribute $2,000 to the Historical Society.
I'll second it.
All right, I have a motion by trustee Marshall and it is seconded by trustee Rumble to contribute $2,000 to the Ortonville Historical Society for the blacksmith shop and make the 2 budget amendments as presented. Any discussion or questions? All right, we'll do a roll call, please.
Cordello,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Darnell,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very much. That'll help us. We're well on our way.
Good. All right, next on our agenda is the offer to purchase township-owned property. And we have an offer for a vacant lot that went through the Oakland County Treasurer for not payment of taxes. And so the county deeded the property to Brandon Township in December of 2008. It's not a buildable parcel. The assessor has estimated fair market value for this property to be between $5,000 and $10,000, but chances are slim that someone would want to spend that kind of money on this particular piece. We have an offer of $1,300. And
Talk to your son quite often.
so it's up to the board on whether or not you want to accept that.
If he has an issue.
Did you have a similar one like this a couple months ago that you said no to?
Yes, but it was buildable.
How you been?
This is not buildable. And there is.
Well, this isn't the same piece of property?
No, it's different. Yeah.
The person who wants to buy it, are they adjacent to this property?
No, they are in the house at the upper left.
They're at the house at the upper, way over here? So what do they want? Is this their drive though?
No, that's,
No, that's their drive.
that is a drive. Oh, oh.
So, what do they want from? Are they gonna try to combine it?
We're using a real estate firm and they found the higher, so I haven't talked to the buyer.
Just out of curiosity, what's our anticipated taxation?
What it was back in 2007, because it's been zeroed out ever since.
Right, that's what.
So it'd be approximately $40 per dozen. But they can't, I don't know what the assessment will be.
So we'll give you assessment of $1,300, because that's the purchase price?
Right.
I don't know that that's true. I think they would assess it to the property,
Oh, okay.
properties adjacent.
Which still is 5 or 6.
Which is just under,
Right.
4,000.
Right.
Died. What's wrong with the property?
It's not buildable.
I don't know, what's that?
Probably not
It's
big
not,
enough for
it's not big enough.
Doesn't meet any of the setbacks.
Yeah.
Would be my
Is there a house, is there a house next to it here and here?
It looks like it, looks like it's all vacant.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like it's all
I,
vacant.
I drove by, there's nothing on either side of it.
It looks like it has access to a creek, and then I think if you go through like the culvert, you end up out on Big Fish, or
Bald Eagle.
Bald Eagle Lake.
Bald Eagle.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be able to really take a big boat out there, but
No, there's a little bridge right up there, so it's tiny, it's
yeah,
under.
so maybe,
Are they wouldn't be able to combine it with their land though, it's too far away.
Yeah, right.
yeah, right.
Looks like to me like they just want water access. Probably.
Like there's a Joe or
I mean, they can't build anything on it.
No, you can't build, but you can't combine it, it's too far away. That's why I asked which house it was, because if it was one next to it, I could see them combining it, so they had more land.
Where's the lake at, on this map?
Down there,
That's the canal in the corner there.
Lake is a house.
Yeah.
it looks like it's called Township. Right.
This is their end here, so this goes up.
So that's why they.
These are there's nothing here, nothing.
I would just like to see some decent businesses come in.
Right here.
The purchaser knows that it's not buildable, Kathy?
I thought this was
No.
I have not talked to the purchaser, we're going to the real estate one, so we are.
The
we
real
will
estate
have-
one knows it's not buildable?
Yes. They do.
Yeah, because that's my question, do they know it's not buildable, they can't put anything on it, and they can't combine it?
And we'll also have to pay a commission on the sale because we're using the realtor.
They'll get a cup of coffee.
$1,300.
Yeah.
6%, 63 bucks, something like
Well,
that.
that's $450.
Couple cups.
It's $460 for the,
It says here, plus $450.
and then you're not getting nothing, I don't think that's,
Then we're only getting
Yeah.
$850 for the property.
what page are you on reading that, Candy?
Raymond James.
Protection agreement?
Yeah, because 6% is only 78 bucks.
Yeah.
I'm tough.
What is the 454 again? I'm not quite familiar
Plus
with
$450.
So it's 6% plus 450.
it. Right.
So they're getting $528 of the 1,300. They're getting almost half of it.
Yeah.
And that's my question, what's the 454?
Yeah, I'd say those terms are.
Right here, the property is sold to purchaser's cost. Seller should pay broker 6% of the sale price plus $450 upon it.
I don't know. There's always a thing called renegotiation. I don't like that at all. I mean, that's $1,500. They're getting more than
520.
528 of it.
Nah.
So does somebody want to make any kind of a motion to move this along?
I'll make a motion to decline the offer.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble and a second by trustee Cordella to decline the offer to purchase vacant lot 0330106001 for $1,300 from Edward, I'm
No.
sorry,
Oh, that's their house, never mind. Yep, it is yours.
from Edward Zolowicki, and allow the supervisor to facilitate the transaction.
Well,
Okay, discussion?
You don't have to have that last part on there.
I was just gonna say,
Oh,
why would
yeah,
you
that's
want?
right.
I was like, wait, that sounds like you're doing the transaction then.
We can't do it at those terms.
So if, decline the offer to purchase vacant lot
Yeah.
with the Sidwell for $13,000 from Edwards. So
Okay, better. I didn't like to facilitate. I'm like, why are we facilitating it?
So the reasons being is we think the realtors
The
are asking
excessive
for too much
commission.
money.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
they're getting commission plus $450.
But what about the purchase price?
I mean,
I think it's a little close.
I think it's a little low, but I don't think that matters if we're just declining it, but then if they want to make another offer, we'll look at another offer.
Okay,
I agree.
and if we don't get an offer, then it just.
Does what it's been doing for the last
Yes.
10 years.
Exactly, it just sits there.
Why are we using a realtor for these parcels for that?
Well, if you want to volunteer to get out there and sell them.
No, I'm just asking, why, I mean, if we get offers, we got the other offer with no realtor. When did we decide to use a realtor? Has it always been the case?
Yeah, we have.
Okay,
in
I'm
the
just curious, I
past.
didn't know.
We have in the past.
Yeah, I didn't know they grew up with
Yeah,
realtors
me
either.
either.
It gets to the point where nobody's coming in making offers, so
Right.
then just give it to the realtor and see what they can do. Okay, any other discussion? All right, I have a motion by trustee Rumble and a second by trustee Cordella to decline the offer to purchase vacant lot 0330106001 for $1,300 from Edward Zwicky. And if there's no further discussion, we'll do a roll call, please.
Marshall?
So to speak, yes. I'm trying to think how this is the negative, yeah, okay.
Rumble?
Yes.
Allen? Darnell?
Yes.
DePalma?
Yes.
Cordella?
Yes.
Thurman?
No. Okay, and the offer carries to decline the offer. Wait, the
Motion.
carries to decline
Motion.
the offer.
She really wants to sell that property.
I've got it sitting on my desk.
Yeah, I hear
Just trying to
you.
get rid of some of it.
She's buying it from a third
We don't need that piece left.
Okay, so we'll move on to item D.
party. She wants to go kayaking.
See, we
Oh,
got,
I'm sorry,
we got
C.
C.
When I forgot to ask you for your report, so why don't you step up to the podium and first give us a report, and then we'll discuss the purchasing procedures and hours of construction for the park project.
I gotta slow it back as well.
And apologies for not having a document in front of you. I was very busy 2 weeks ago, and then we had a scheduled vacation, my wife and I, to see her side of the family, in Tennessee, and all good there. So as far as the rec report goes, I did, after work, 6 o'clock soccer started, and I went out there and visited some of the coaches and the site director, did an observation, and things are going well. This year, the U12, we teamed up with Goodrich. We have 2 teams, and they have 2 teams. We had to make our U12 field larger this year because of we went back to more kids on the field, where in the past we had a shorter amount of kids on the field, so the fields were smaller. We put up a fencing on the north-south tree line, so because the balls were getting hit in that little wet area last year. So now this fencing stops that ball. We had some community service workers help us with that project. Our flag football, we have 40+ kids involved with that. What's new this year with that program, that all the kids are wearing a foam helmet to protect them from any sort of unnecessary head injuries. It's going to help a lot, and they're all excited about it. And our 9 to 12-year-olds, but some 8-year-olds are actually playing up. We're putting them in what we call a tackle bar situation. It's the new thing that's going on throughout the United States to properly teach kids how to tackle so they can go to that next level. They also have small shoulder pads, helmet, and the tackle bar system. And they're pretty excited about that. From what I understand, that the first year that you do these kind of things, you know, it's a little iffy. Plus, we didn't get the advertisement out there until junior Blackhawk football was already signed up. And I don't want to compete with it, but I want to give the opportunity for kids to be able to learn how to tackle properly before they go to that level. And so we're excited about that. I'm still looking for a sponsor as well, so I'll be working on that this week. Soccer sponsors, we pretty much got done. So that's your outdoor sports. And then we had park development. It's been going pretty steady. We've got a few more glitches and elevations, potholes, things like that we're working on. That's about it. We're gearing up for the indoor sports. September Fest is we're around 65 vendors right now, and we have 3 weeks to take registrations. We have a full house of bands. Our own Robert Marshall is going to be the feature for that evening. Looking good. Some new changes in September Fest. Pond Street is kept open for emergency vehicles to exit and return, and for supplies for the Lions Club area. Our food vendors will be from the VFW will always be where they always have been, and we'll be going east on Mill Street with food vendors. We'll take that parking lot and put a bunch of, where the farmer's market is, put a bunch of picnic tables in there for people to eat. And the farmer's market will be there as well. One thing I do got to check with the village is they've been doing this farmer market thing on Saturdays. So I'm not sure if those people want to get involved with September Fest or not. If they do, I got to figure out where we're going to put them.
You're talking about people on the farmer's market?
The what?
People that participate in the farmer's market?
The vendors. Yeah, the vendors.
What, sell
Because they increased the size, because it's always been just one guy for years. And now they got about 3 or 4 of them downtown on Saturdays. And, that's their time. So I haven't really talked to anybody from the village yet to find out if they want to get involved in September Fest or not. Now, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's been grandfathered in where he doesn't really pay a fee. So that's all I have. If you don't have any questions.
Sprint's the farmer that,
Oh, yeah, Frank Myers, yeah. He's been around for a while. He always comes in and does his paperwork. Grandfather.
Fred, I just wanted to ask you a question on the tackle bar. You're saying it teaches them to tackle, but I just want you to explain, they don't actually do any tackling.
No.
So maybe you could just give us an explanation of how that tackle bar works.
Basically, they have shoulder pads, they have a helmet, and they have this vest that's attached to them, Velcro, and on the backside, 2 bright yellow bars. flag football, you got flags and you throw them. Tackle bar, what they're teaching is they're teaching to build is hit, grab, release. So there's not a hit, grab, and throw down. It's hit, grab, release. And there's a video that we have on our website that the coaches are all going to look at. And we're also going to have training on site. Monday's our first night. I'll be there, and I'm also training the referees as well.
So they hit face to face?
Head up, they always say head up, neck up.
You don't even hit faces.
But they don't hit it.
Football.
No, what I'm talking about is they're facing each other when they hit each other or not?
Not necessary. You could,
They're hitting each
you
other
could pull
from
the guy,
behind.
you could chase the guy down from behind and pull the bar. But when they, if they do,
Oh, that's the key, is to pull the bar.
yeah, pull the bar. So basically, these are young kids, so they're not gonna just ram somebody.
Yeah.
We don't teach that. It's
No, I wasn't
basically-
talking about ramming, I was just talking about how do they get to the bars if they're on their
Yeah,
back?
any way they can, basically.
Yeah, okay, so it's basically like run around the guy or hit him
Yeah,
from
you can
behind.
get it from behind.
Or get him from behind.
So you're not really pulling a jersey, you're pulling
Yeah.
that bar off. And when you come up and grab, you can't throw down, you pull the bar. And you just throw it up, yeah.
So the bars release.
Yeah, they're really easy.
Okay, so they're gonna wanna, their purpose is to try to grab the bar and pull it off of the Velcro or however it's attached, and then throw it to
Can I
send
show
this
you
guy
guys
down.
one, real quick?
Sure.
Yeah,
Save me
the
from
bar,
losing it.
the bar you would think it'd be metal, but it's not.
Right, when he says bar, you think that, yeah, when he says bar, I was like, okay, how do I get the bar off? Yeah.
I think I'm a little older.
So each registration, each athlete has their own size. So we have the little, or we have these in small, medium, so they're not very big. And then this will strap like this over that on the chest. This is the bar that they pull off.
Oh, they have to pull off one or both?
One. And then this is a foam helmet to protect your heads.
So are they buying their own sets, or are we?
Nope. If I don't get a sponsor, you'll see a budget amendment coming your way.
So we're gonna keep those?
Yes. And they're gonna be desanitized at the end of the year. They have, each child gets their own bag they're responsible for. They take it to and from practice. At the end of the year, they return it. If they don't return it, we have in our new pay online system, we can put a red flag on that parent or that family, and they won't be able to register anything to bring that equipment back.
If they don't bring it back, are they gonna have to pay a fine or pay for it?
Yeah, and that's part of the coaches meeting, when I meet the parents, them are, reinstate to them that if they don't read equipment, they will be billed.
No face guards, I'm assuming there's mouth protectors.
Yep, they wear mouth guards, they wear protective midsection and all that stuff.
Now, is the mouth guards their own protection they have to buy though, right?
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah. I was gonna
You wanna
say,
pass that
we're
along.
thinking that, yeah. I'm just checking.
Yeah, you have to boil it and turn up the
Yeah, yeah.
And new this year, thanks to Charlie Shoemaker, we will have lighting for those late games, or late season games. We have new lighting for the sledding hill, parking lot, and it goes out over the field as well. So we're excited about the new season. The little kids are still basically the pull-off flag, but they're wearing these helmets as well.
What age is this for?
This is 9 to 12, you know, we have some 8-year-olds, a couple of them playing out. The other ones are 5 or 6 to 8 year olds.
Okay, with still class.
And there's 5, it's 5-on-5 on the field. Modified, like there's no kicking the ball. And there's, we went by NFL Nike rules and we modified them with the coaches all agreed that we're allowing interceptions. Because football, you know, interceptions is part of the game. So we allow interceptions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll be out there Monday night. Equipment, we got the helmets in, but the rest of the stuff is still in, so. And Randy Wise Ford has showed some interest in paying for the whole like, we'll put their, if we can, we'll put the sponsor emblem right on here. That they could have taken it, I'm not sure, but anyways, it'd be on the jersey.
Okay, so let's move on to the purchasing procedures. So we have certain purchasing procedures in our policy, and you're asking the board to give you approval to make purchases over $2,500 but less than $10,000 without obtaining 3 written quotes when circumstances are prohibitive for the completion of the Land and Water Conservation Fund number 1 and number 2 Park Development Grant projects. So maybe you can give us a rundown of what's happened.
I'm not asking for
Why
an,
you're asking.
I'm not asking for an open checkbook or anything like that. We had a situation that when we, board approval, had Dave Tippett move 1 acre of topsoil, and to make room for that donated asphalt that we got. It was about 300 ton of that. So we didn't want to put it on top of topsoil, so we moved the topsoil. That particular area was 4 feet of topsoil. As we went up for that 1 acre, they got up to only 8 inches. But when we hit that 4 foot, we hit what we call a purge. The water literally started bubbling out of the ground, and what it caused is going to, if you don't fix it now, it could cause delay in construction further down the road. So what we did is we dug a trench through there that first to take care of it right away, so it just doesn't spill out over all that topsoil and get it all wet. And then we had to make a decision to purchase 1 to 3 inch crushed concrete and some piping, and that's what I did. Now the crushed concrete's down and the piping is scheduled within the next 2 days or so. I did purchase some pipe because I thought we was going to jump on it real soon. But the other pipe that we need, I have not purchased yet. We still need another 500 feet because the way the grade is working. I call it north and south because right now we're on the south side of that whole 4-field complex, and we have a really low area behind that really big tree that we're saving that we're going to have to run pipe from that area out through that purge over to the wetland.
So where is the topsoil?
The topsoil that came from the 1 acre, most of it was piled right by the sledding hill. It's still there, most of it. So it's actually in the way for the driveway that goes into the new development. The driveway that you guys have seen out there is not the driveway according to print. That's just something we've had there to get access back there to mow so people can walk their dogs and things like that. So now that big topsoil pile is in the way. And
I think what they're asking you is there was some other topsoil that was moved outside.
yeah, some of that was. And that wasn't authorized by me. It was something that Mr. Ingles did on his own too. We had talked to Barry, and we have not really negotiated anything. And Roger took it upon himself to ship someone over there so Barry could look at it. That was wrong, and I put a stop to it right away.
Well, I asked Mr. Ingles about it, and he said we had too much topsoil that we have to.
That don't matter, we'll put it on the other side and stockpile. But we were trying to barter.
You never have
Barry
to
that. And it was, I guess, I'm just looking at his eyes, it was simple just to roll it, and let Barry look at it. To get Barry to come over there is next to impossible, because we did talk about it, and we did talk, we might be able to get some discount on shipping, on trucking. So, and then, right now, we're still in negotiation, we haven't moved any of it. So if it gets moved again, it's got to be moved over to the north side. So there was probably a total of maybe 120 yards, which is 3 of the, or 4 of the 15-yard beds. And And the cost of that is anywhere from $2 to $6 a yard for unscreened topsoil. It's got weeds in there, rots in it, and all that kind of stuff.
Now, it's the north side of the park, is that like a low-lying area that we can
Some area, yeah, it's just like.
spread some of that stuff out and
Yeah.
hit some of the low.
There's still gonna be a land balancing project over there as well, where you strip topsoil and clay around, put back, but yeah, I mean, I don't wanna get rid of the topsoil, not
Yeah.
that Barry wants to pay a premium dollar. The only reason why we thought about that, we gotta remember, we had 4 blueprints for this job. Every blueprint has been different as far as colors and stuff like that, trying to figure out how we get this place to drain. And we've always been short of dirt. This final print shows us that we could have an excess of topsoil. So that's what we're working with in some areas.
And that's because the other prints didn't have the clay figured into the,
Yeah, one of the prints didn't have, they left that clay pile sitting over there.
that huge clay.
The last one, it's just hard to believe that we've gone through 4 prints, but we finally moved that clay pile, which I want to move in the first place, right from the get-go, because that's a good base for your infill, which both infills are in now. The parking base is in. We still got to add somewhere around 18 inches of, or 16 inches of gravel. Parking lot be done. We're looking at seeding within 2 to 3 weeks. So my next job is to start putting the public notice out for the fencing, the backstops, stuff like that.
My question though is, because you said there was 4 blueprints and something happened that you didn't have approval. Is everybody on the same page of what we're doing now, so we don't waste time and
Right.
bring stuff over to, because time is our essence, and if stuff is happening that's not supposed to be happening, then we're wasting time.
Yeah. No,
I
we're
just
on
make
it.
sure
Everybody's on the
that
same
We're on the right
page.
blueprint, we're on the same page, and we're going to go about it the right way.
There's one
Roger needs to
little.
know that he doesn't have any authority to make decisions on behalf of the township.
Right. Because
I know it, but he keeps doing it.
what he did with the topsoil that I know of, I don't know of anything else, but
I have a question regarding your motion that you're asking for, though. Have you checked with the DNR, the grant, that it's okay for us to not get bids over 2,500 to 10,000? Because in the stuff that we presented to the DNR when we asked for the grants, did that state we were always getting bids for over 2,500?
Right.
And now if we're going against that, have you talked to them to make sure that's okay if we're not doing it?
yes, I have done that. And what they asked for is right in the directions, and Scott is helping me with the reimbursements and things like that, Scott Brunton. But they have to have a approved vendor list, which they have in their hands now, and I think I showed it to you guys. Approved vendor list, so like Bedrock's listed on there, as far as Brown's Do-It Center is listed on there. Those are people that you can go ahead and just get a purchase from them.
Without, and they're, so the DNR is okay if we do not get bids over from 2,500 to 10 grand if we use someone off those approved vendor list?
If they were already being used, so
They
they've
have
been
to-
approved.
Okay, so is that gonna cause you a problem where we could end up spending more money because we're not gonna do bids?
No, for instance, I have 3 companies similar, well, counting Bedrock, 3 companies that I'm calling tomorrow because we have a bunch. We have each sand volleyball pit takes 177 ton of really good sand. We still need 300 ton of crushed concrete, and we need mega tonnage of crushed limestone. All those numbers that Roger and I came up with by looking at the blueprint and doing our own estimates, because we have not got the estimates from HRC yet. They're supposed to give us they cut and fill, how much you're cutting out, how much you have to put back in certain soils. So we did our own estimates, and I have those numbers now, and now I'll be contacting these places and get the bids. We're not just gonna give Barry an open checkbook saying, whatever you charge.
So you think all of those are gonna be under 10 grand and you could go about it this way if we make this approval?
Well, I think he plans on getting 3 bids when he can, but this was an emergency situation.
Right.
And I think
This does not say in emergency situations, this says to allow Fred Wybrandt to make purchases of over 2,500 but less than 10 without obtaining 3 written quotes when circumstances are prohibited for the completion of the land water CF
For the
number
whole
1,
grant,
number
it doesn't
2,
say.
park development grant project.
But I think the when circumstances are prohibited.
Right.
So maybe you can explain
So,
prohibitive.
yeah, how are we gonna know that
circumstances.
how are we gonna know that this one was because the circumstances prohibited and this one wasn't?
Well, most of the circumstances will have to do with water, basically. So we have to pipe the water to the wetlands. And we have 2 areas, if you want to count behind the volleyball courts, that we have to pipe. Otherwise, there'll be a ditch right off the 4 feet, 5 feet off the edge of the volleyball court. YHRC, they used that current bioswale that was there.
But you have a swale now, so piping is not gonna be an emergency, right?
That's the
Well, if
thing,
we want
though,
to keep
is
doing construction, I mean, we gotta,
I know, but you'll be getting 3 bids for that piping, right?
the pipe I want to purchase right now, because they're going to be digging in 2 days.
But you're gonna get 3 bids.
No, you just
For
said
that.
no.
He said he's gonna purchase it.
That's why he wants this, so is this more just for, so is this more just for this one case?
Yes.
Because, well, then it should
Then it
state that,
should say
because
that.
this motion seems like it's an open motion for the rest of the project.
Mhm. That's
Well,
the way I took it.
That's what it does say.
Unless we hit another purge or we,
Yeah, but I thought that the DNR grant said $4,900 or less is okay, but 5,000 or more needs to have 3 bids.
3 bids or $10,000 or more, it
And
has to
board
be a public
approval.
notice.
Right.
And that's what's going to happen, but also, if they're a vendor, approved vendor, and you've already been using them, like
And it's
Mylan
over
Pipe,
$5,000, they're still gonna say okay?
if they're already an approved vendor, and if it doesn't delay construction, yes.
You're sure? Because I hate to have the DNR go, sorry, pal, it's over 5,000, where's your 3 bids, and did the board approve this? And you don't get that money.
If it's a new
They don't.
park
ask-
development item, yes, I'll get you.
But don't we have to?
But I don't,
Don't
yeah.
we have
I don't think they asked.
I don't think the DNR requires our board to approve his purchases.
Our
But
policy
they-
does.
Our policy
Our
does.
policy does. So I think this is asking for him to go ahead and make it with our, if he gives 3 bids, he can take the lowest one without
No, he
getting
wants to do
more.
without, he
Yeah,
wants to
it
do
says
without
no.
obtaining 3 bids. His motion says without obtaining 3 bids.
Right, that's only, they only have to do with that purchase.
But that's
If we run into
what
another
this says.
situation, well, if we run into another situation, I have to go through the bid process, get a board approval, stuff like that, and it's gonna take 30 days. And then we're-
I mean, if it's an emergency, can't you just call us all, Nancy, or send us all an email? I mean, I respond to that in like 5 minutes every time.
Right. I mean, if I can get the park
But I-
subcommittee involved, it doesn't matter, I just wanna make sure we don't lose time.
Right.
I understand
Yeah, no,
that,
I know
but
you're
at
up
the
against
same
time,
time-
I
I
get
can,
that.
but it's against the Open Meetings Act if I don't do it in public as far as getting people to vote on things. I can't do that.
I understand your situation, Fred, and I
But
want to help
but I
you
can
because
let you know.
I understand your situation, and I want to help you the best I can to get this done in time, because I don't want to lose our grants, and I don't want
Right.
to see a park half finished. So I'm just trying to figure out, though, what's the best way to do this, because you're saying without 3 bids, and you're saying, but then you're saying only when it's prohibited to complete it, you would do this. But then Kathy's saying you're still gonna get 3 bids, so I'm confused because I'm hearing different things here, so I
Yeah,
wanna
I'm
know
still gonna
exactly
get 3
what.
bids when time allows it. If we get into a situation, like, let's say we're doing the gravel, right? We're this close to being done, and all of a sudden, the grade calls for another 2 inches to do that whole thing.
So I guess
I have
that's
to
where we
order
need to,
$5,000 worth of
that's
gravel.
where we need to figure out is what is considered when circumstances are prohibited for the completion. Because you could just say, well, we need to do this and completion's in 2 months, so we're gonna be prohibited if it doesn't happen in 2 months, but within 2 months, there would be time to get
Well,
quotes.
another example is like we're laying the pipe and our calculations are off somewhat, we have to order a little bit more pipe.
I understand that, so I'm saying,
Is there a
but what are you
preventative?
going to consider when its circumstances are prohibited? Is everything going to be because we're on a time frame?
No.
And
No, like I
Fred-
said, I got
Kathy
time to
still thought you were
put bids
getting
out
3
for that
bids.
gravel.
And Kathy thought you were still getting 3 bids, you just weren't coming to the board.
Well,
It's
and
the
that's
same
it too,
thing.
it's like you said, you have to start getting bids for,
The backstops.
backstops
Yeah,
and whatever.
I'm gonna get
But
3
that,
bids on
that will come to the board for approval,
Yes,
because our next meeting won't be until October.
right, and that's about when we need to order it.
Okay, so everything's good at this point
As
as
long
far
as
as
we don't
bringing
get
it
another
to the board?
purge. Yeah.
That's
It's-
over $2,500, because I thought there was more stuff you had to order that was over $2,500.
Can we
More
have,
piping.
I think, yeah.
Kathy, can we have Scott's helping,
Yeah, it's-
Scott talk if he
Yeah.
needs
Seems
to?
like-
Right,
Okay.
you
It's
come up
just,
to the platform,
it's just
please.
really quick, because what I have, Fred, you threw my name out there, but what I haven't heard mentioned is the fact that we did receive a note from Marie that said not only do we need bids for certain amounts, but then we also need to have our planner be involved to say that they're approving this process as well. And you were gone last
Talking about
week,
engineers.
so we couldn't clean that up, and I'm not comfortable just saying, yeah, we can just go ahead and spend this money. We can spend it, but it doesn't mean that we're gonna get reimbursed on the grant. And we need to clean that up before we tell the board that,
Yeah,
yeah, it's just okay to
The
spend.
planners have approved everything.
The engineer.
I got the engineers. I have 2 concerns.
HRC, is that the planners?
Yeah.
But I think you said you hadn't gotten a hold of them.
So we-
I asked Kathy to call them.
We did last week,
Yeah.
and so they've gotten into the grant. They weren't getting into the grant to do the approval for, I forget what it was.
The
but-
PSP
But now they have.
forms, all that is a check this box, we're ready to go with the construction. We lost Albert as HRC engineer. He just quit, left. They did not assign nobody else to the project. So that got delayed. So, and I noticed it, and we're talking to Mary Carlock as well. So I tried to get a hold of Jamie all last week before I went for vacation, and I didn't get any response, so I asked Kathy to follow up on that for me, and she did, and the box has been checked. So we're okay there.
I have 2 concerns about this. First off, my understanding is that last meeting, we approved $16,000 budget to have this taken care of. Leveling the ground, moving the earth, taking the topsoil off, and now we're being asked for more money on top of that. My first concern is if that kind of thing should be taken into consideration, and that could explain why we had a difference of bids between 16,000 and 32,000. 38,000, no, hold on, let me finish. Because at 38,000, maybe that person took into account there's going to be unforeseeable circumstances that come up. So now I'm looking at this saying, how often are we going to be nickel and dimed on this $16,000 bid? My second concern is that if we do this, we're agreeing to just wash our hands of our forward responsibility of oversight of the finances of the township. I'm not willing to negate my responsibility for oversight.
May I give you a little insight of what happened?
No.
To use quite honest, this area.
No, I said no.
You can't talk right now, Ron.
I said no.
Fred, is this 2,600 have to do with that 16,000? I wasn't sure it had to do with that, or is it something else? Okay.
Wasn't this part of moving earth?
With the pipe?
Topsoil should be on it.
How did you come up with these, what you call where the water seeps up?
With purge, that was,
How did you come up with the?
that wasn't Roger
moving
Ingles'
earth?
$16,000 contract, that was Dave Tippett's $4,000 contract. To
With the purge.
to move topsoil out of the way, an acre, so we could put that donated asphalt down. Because we didn't want to just dump it on top of
And that's when you
topsoil.
found the purge, yeah?
But,
That's when you found the purge?
yeah.
Yeah, because I think this purge actually happened before we approved the 16,000 work.
Yes.
Is there any way that we can, because I don't like the idea of not getting 3 quotes, because we're going to be paying more for something else. And I understand the urgency of getting stuff done, so if something needs to get done, then I guess we're going to have to meet more often.
We still have to do it the right way. even
Yeah,
if-
that's what I'm saying. I guess we have to meet more often. I don't know what else to say, but I just don't want to say, oh, sudden, okay, you can, go, and especially if, like Scott said, that the DNR still said you have to get bids. I'm not going to do this wrong.
Yeah, they also are telling me that once they get that vendor list approved, and you're then using that vendor, you can continue to use that vendor.
Is that?
Without a bid.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't see that in writing, you haven't
And
given
then,
it to me in writing.
the other thing is, we've got to understand, the project, the 2016 grant, we have $150,000, we matched by $150,000. That's all the DNR cares about. We also have another $109,500 that the engineers told us we needed to work with. We don't have to, the township can do whatever they want as far as purchasing or anything with that $109,000. So we do have some flex there as well for this emergency. So
I have a question from the clerk. How many acres have been completed with removing topsoil?
how many acres are
Acres have been
completed?
completed with the removing of the topsoil.
I say about half, and this is how that took place. You got topsoil that's been disked. The contractor took off the first layer and stockpiled over there out of the way, He took the good topsoil, like in the infield area, and he pushed that all out of the way, and moved it with dump trucks that we rented. You can't push topsoil, and you push topsoil in piles, but we moved it. We had dump trucks on site and we're paying for it anyways. And then the clay went down. Both infields are pretty much right there. There's a little bit clean enough to do on it. And then that topsoil, the good topsoil, is pushed back on. So you don't have to take it all the way across the property. You can stockpile off to the side and you push it back. If you go out there, be more than happy to meet with you out there, go over it. Roger can go over it with you as well. But it's a process. And it's in bits and pieces, so we're trying to move as fast as we can because of the weather and the time. It gets dark early. We've been fortunate so far.
Well,
We've made pretty good progress.
Instead of doing this, Fred, could we just call an emergency board meeting, and as long as we have a quorum?
I'm fine with that. You're not gonna get this probably ever again. I just wanted to cover my butt because I get it. And I just want to make sure the board knows that I get it. And if it happens again, it's a kind of a situation where you gotta get something on site now, that I'm not gonna lose my job.
So you've already done something that was over the 5,000 mark? Is that what you're saying?
No, it wasn't over 5. It was under 5, over 25. Other than the crushed concrete, that was $6,000. Somewhere around there. But that had to be put in because of the water. You wouldn't be able to drive through there. It's part of, it's right, that perch is right in the parking lot.
So you've spent the 6 without getting quotes or approval?
No, I called around. I didn't get written ones, but it was something that their guys had available right then and there. And we also dug a trench to help move that water. It's all part of construction, and these things you have to do.
So what I'm hearing from the board, Fred, is it sounds like in the future, if something like this happens, we need to call a special meeting, get a quorum, so you can get approval before the purchase is made.
You know, where, okay, you guys are the boss, and this delays things a little bit.
Well, I understand the delay stuff, but at the same time, I don't want the DNR coming back. Are they gonna come back on the 6,000? Are they gonna come back on this other one?
This is, again, where we're not gonna lose that money because we have $109,000 that we have. We could call it emergency fund if we want to. We're not gonna give that back to the
Isn't that a
DNR.
different grant? Isn't one grant, one the other grant?
No, somebody's saying some of the money we're paying, some of the money they're paying.
Right.
Well, but is it all supposed to be, it doesn't matter, is it our match and their match supposed to be done the right way?
Yeah.
The same
Yeah,
way?
the match money, but we, that $109,500 is not matched. That's something we, board approved.
Yeah.
So that's money we don't, like I say, if I spent $6,000, well, it could come out of that because DNR's not gonna reimburse that anyways, because that's what we, the engineers said, you need that much more money to make this work. And come to find out, we need a lot more money, but we have what we have, and we're just trying to make it work. We're fairly on track as far as budget-wise. And you saw the article in the paper, which Jim Sherman donated, full page. We're looking for support from the community.
What else has been spent besides the 6 and, your budget was 2,600 without doing grants when you're supposed, or without doing 3 bids like you're supposed to? What else has been done?
This team got 3, or sometimes you can't get 3 bids, that's why it says in there. Sometimes you only get 1 bid. Sometimes you get 2, like in our situation, we only got 2 bids for the disc. We got 2 bids for the topsoil removal.
But you tried to get 3 bids.
Oh, yeah.
If you tried, then.
The only thing I did not bid out, even though I did call Barry Bass or Bedrock, they did not reply. I did call Menards, they did not reply, it was on the piping. The only one that replied was Mylan Pipe. And nobody would have beat their price anyways, because that's what they do.
What about the rental equipment, Fred? Did you get 3 bids for that?
I tried, and I got 2. And
So do you have this all documented, so if we get asked, we can say?
I think that's what Scott's
Kara's
trying
been
to
doing a
do.
great job documenting, you know, Kara's got the folder, she's itemizing everything.
And showing
then-
what we got documented, 2 bids because we couldn't find a 3rd, 1 bid because we couldn't find 2 and 3.
Yeah, we're keeping a 3-ring folder. We haven't called Scott in yet to ask for any
But
money back.
if any of that is over 2,500, it was supposed to come to us, and you haven't come to us on everything? Is that correct?
Yes.
Only 2 items that came back to the board, and that was strip, or actually more than that, there was the tree and stump removal.
I know what came to us, I'm asking what didn't come to us then.
Just the piping didn't come to us, the
And
piping
the-
and the gravel, the building?
Piping and the gravel.
What about the $4,000,
Just the piping and the gravel.
what about the $4,000 for Dave Tippett?
That came to you guys.
Okay.
That was for
first
the
acre.
disking.
Yeah.
It was $1,000 an acre
Okay.
is what the bid came in at. And he,
Scott, do you know?
it was $1,000 to disc, and he disced it 4 times.
I guess the only other question the board should be asking right now is that we received a bid to get this topsoil cleaned out. And it was supposed to include it all-inclusive, and all of a sudden, we had to rent dump trucks to move it around.
That's
And-
not-
That's totally wrong.
Well, that's
Okay.
not what the board was told. The board was told that was all.
We have land balance, we specifically asked.
We got 2 projects going on at the same time. You got stripping of the topsoil, and you also got land balancing. We were over there digging up that big clay pile, shipping it over when the topsoil was done.
asked you that twice.
Wait, the 16,000 one was supposed to be all-inclusive.
What do you mean by all?
Stripping the topsoil only.
Well, that's
Land
not-
balance
that's not what we
is
were
part
told.
of for going free is not part of 6,000.
That's not what we were
It
told.
was stripping and stockpiling.
Yes.
Right.
That's what-
The 16,000
Right.
was all-inclusive.
No.
Stripping and stockpiling topsoil is what we did on.
Yeah, and Fred said it included the fuel and the equipment and stuff when we asked him that at the
Right.
last
It did.
meeting.
Yeah.
Then why is he
Then
saying
why is he
no?
saying no?
About what?
That the
I didn't
16
know.
topsoil wasn't
Didn't
all
include
inclusive
that.
of the material.
The 16, what Roger did is move topsoil, he piled it here and there. He stripped the garbage out, pushed it off to the side. The good stuff stayed, there's no sense of, if it's a 3-foot fill in the outfield, we have no reason other than strip that crappy stuff off and leave the good topsoil there. He stripped the nasty stuff and put, that's the pile you see. And then he did land balancing at the same time. He get into a different construction mode, now we're digging clay, we're putting it where we stripped all that topsoil right down to clay and added clay. If you go out there,
And that was part of
you'll
the
see it.
16.
Not the clay, not the clay. The 16,000 is topsoil
Right,
stripping
yeah.
and
Well, I think-
stockpiling.
So that 16 was supposed to be all-inclusive,
The
Well,
equipment and-
Stripping the topsoil. Only.
And equipment.
which is the $16,000 quote.
Right. Only
What?
stripping topsoil, not moving the dirt.
move the dirt. We were told it was all inclusive. You see what I'm saying?
We specifically asked
This
if it
is
was
a-
all
To
inclusive.
me, this is just like
Wait,
a
wait,
rat
wait. So
race.
was the other, so we're paying, okay, was it really apples to apples on the two quotes? Was the 16 not to move it, but the 38 was to move it, and now we're gonna pay more on top of the
If,
16 to move
if
it?
the other gentleman got the bid, it would have been done the same way, because that's how you do construction. You move here, you move there, and then you might pull off that and move the clay in. So
Okay,
you
wait.
move the topsoil back on again.
So I have another question.
No, I'm still kind
Oh, I'm
of.
sorry.
Okay, so the $16,000 quote,
Stripping and piling topsoil.
okay.
And that's part of the piling that went to Barry?
No, hold on, okay, so the $16,000 quote work, and the $38,000 quote work was supposed to be the same work. It was supposed to be an apples to apples quote.
Yes.
So you're telling me that the $16,000 quote costs, you do this work, and then you have to do this other work, and so we're paying, this is the 16, but then we're gonna pay for this. The person who bid the 38, was that just for this too, or were they including this in there too?
No,
Or was that
this-
gonna be a separate?
The two bids were apples for apples, strictly stripping topsoil and stockpiling. Both
Okay.
bids.
So
One
now-
came in at $4 a yard, the other came in at $8 a yard, something like that.
But, so now why are we being billed equipment for this $16,000 work?
We're not. We're being billed equipment for the land balancing, bulldozing the clay. Once you move topsoil, you have a clay base. Now you gotta move clay.
And we would be billed the same thing no matter which of these two bids we took?
I don't follow that.
Well, you just told me
The
that,
tickets include the clay. is what
you
she's
just
saying.
told me for the clay, we were gonna be billed that
No.
separate from the 16.
But
If we took the $38,000 bid, would we have still been billed for this work of the clay?
yes. Because that's where your land balancing comes in. We're stripping its top.
I'm sorry, I'm not a builder, I'm a CPA, I'm just
I know.
a numbers person,
And
so.
I know it's confusing, but
So the clerk has a couple of questions. I feel like it's me up my back. So they stripped half and then started another job instead of finishing the topsoil?
because we stripped topsoil in the infield and got down to the clay, balanced the clay, the excavator and those dump trucks were filled constantly, bringing clay back over to the infield. Roger had his bulldozer, the same bulldozer that's stripping topsoil, but that topsoil, the bulldozer's cost is still in that 16,000. The bulldozer cost is not in the land balancing of clay or gravel.
All right, second question. So there were 4 gravel trains that left the park to Bedrock, is that correct?
False. It's, there weren't gravel trains.
Two gravel trains, two
Two,
semis.
two singles, which is a total of about 120.
Why was all that taken to Bedrock?
Say, from what I understand, because I didn't approve it, was
So then we shouldn't pay for it.
we should pay for it.
We shouldn't pay for to take the stuff for Bedrock if we didn't approve it.
No, we didn't pay nobody. Roger made a decision, because we did talk about it, but
Right,
nothing
are
was
we being billed
approved.
for that though, is what I'm asking?
No. We just dropped it there so they can examine and say, oh yeah, it's good farm dirt, we would like to purchase any access.
It took them 2 gravel trains and 2 dump trucks to make it, to ascertain whether it's suitable?
Well, we're not
Well,
paying for it.
they took it off the pile that was in the wood. I'm not trying to back them up, it was wrong.
Fred,
They took
Fred,
it off
let me
the
just
pile that
reiterate
was
to
in the
you,
way.
you're in charge of this
New
guy,
driveway.
nobody else.
Where
You're
is
in
the
charge.
stuff in the 2 gravel trains and is it over at Bedrock now or is it back here?
Bedrock.
Why does Bedrock have it if it's ours and they're not paying for it? Why?
Why they're not paying for it?
I thought they weren't paying for it, I thought it was ours.
No, they're not paying for it.
They
They
topsoil?
they moved the topsoil where the new driveway is going in, it was in the way,
Right.
that's what they
But
took
why
the
is it
pile.
over at Bedrock if it's ours?
Because Roger had made a decision to do
So we need to
that.
get it back.
We either get it back or Roger pays for it,
Have Roger pay it.
which is about $2 a yard.
Brett, you gotta be on top of this, buddy. We made you in charge.
I got there at 9 o'clock.
I'm just saying,
It was at 7:30.
you can't have someone, your
On a
contractor
Saturday.
making decisions on behalf of the township. We
I know.
appointed you to do that, you have authority.
And I did.
Roger has zero authority on behalf of the township.
So we need
May I
to,
have
Zero.
some-
No,
may I
you cannot.
give you some information?
We don't want your
Quite
information.
honestly, you're getting totally wrong information.
No, we're not.
Yes, you are.
No, we're not.
Fred, is the stuff at Bedrock or is the stuff back to us?
It's at Bedrock.
Okay, are we paying for the cost of it going to Bedrock and coming back to us? Because we didn't approve for it.
For the rental of
No,
the
we
machine.
did not pay anything to have it shipped out.
What about the paying of the rental of the machines to fill it? Because it doesn't just end up in the scrap and train. So who's paying for that one?
That would be Dave Tippett charging for the.
Well, we should be paying to fill
I didn't
something that
see
we
it
didn't
on any
fill.
of his bills.
So are we getting the bill to load it and then we gave away free topsoil?
And then we
I
have
didn't
to
see
pay
it
to
on
get it
any of
back.
the bills.
Okay.
Approximately how many yards of topsoil were taken at Bedrock?
About 120.
120 altogether?
Yeah.
That's
So,
only $2 per,
Well, he just
Per
said
yard?
2 to 6.
And 120 is on the high end.
have you asked for it to come back to us though?
No, I went and tried to talk to Barry to find out if he was interested, because we did have access, with the fourth print coming involved, now we had access to topsoil. And we, in construction discussions, talked about, well, because we are very limited on funds to build this thing, that maybe we could barter and get free trucking for some farm dirt. And that was the concept, but nothing was approved by me to do that.
So then I think that stuff, if we're not going to sell it to Barry, needs to come back to us. And the cost of it being loaded and brought over and brought back and back unloaded should not be charged to us because we did not approve that to happen.
That's-
Number one. Number two, so my understanding is the $16,000 bid, I just want to make sure I'm understanding construction correctly. So the $16,000 bid and this other bid that was going on, the clay. So when you're constructing, you kind of are doing both at the same time because you're doing topsoil and then you get to clay, and then over here you're doing topsoil and you'll get to clay.
Yeah.
How are we keeping track then of the time of that bulldozer working the topsoil and then working the clay? I have a lot of experience working in my field of, I'm working on a client, I get a phone call, I need to mark down my time because now I'm on this client that called me, then now I go back. So how are they keeping track of their time of, okay, I'm on topsoil, that's already in my bid, now I'm going to clay, now I need to build time.
Well, the township hired operators, and they also hired Roger Ingles for land balancing at $55 an hour, which is gonna have to come out of the 109,000 surplus we have over and above the rent.
So how are they keeping track
So
of
is
the
it
time
being
they're
double billed
working?
is what Dana's getting to?
Correct. How are they keeping track of the time that they're working on the 16 that we've already paid for versus the time that they're working on the stuff that's hourly?
I'm getting time sheets from each individual. We gotta
What
go
about
over.
Roger? Is that 16 include his wage? Or is his wage on top of the
The
16,000?
16,000 is his wages moving and stripping or piling topsoil.
Correct. But if he's going
Well, I'm
back,
just answering her
if
question.
he's going back and forth between the two, does he have a piece of paper and his little bulldozer with him that he's keeping track of his time or his employees?
No.
Because
I just
I
get a
don't want to
timesheet from
pay,
him.
well, I know you get a timesheet, but how are they keeping track of that?
He's got every individual employee out there. At the end of the day, he writes down.
Correct, but if they worked on that $16,000 job and they were out there for 8 hours, and 3 of it was on the 16,000 and 5 of it was on the other, they should really only be paid for 5 that time because we should be paying them for the 3 hours that they worked on the $16,000 job because that is separate, already in a separate quote, that's not our hourly. Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So somebody, they should be paid for their whole day they're out there if they're working on that 16. So that needs to be kept track of.
Right.
And
And then
is it?
any kind of topsoil that's been moved, other than Roger operating his bulldozer, which he had other operators on that bulldozer. You know, it's true.
I hate to be one
But
of
he's
those.
paying them out of that 16,000.
And I'm not trying to be difficult, but it just seems like it's getting all muddy because you're doing different things. And I understand to build, you need to do different
Hard
things.
development.
But something needs to be kept track of because we're paying for stuff so different. If it was all one contract, then it wouldn't matter. If that was all one bid of the 16 and this, and it was all one bid and one person got it, it wouldn't matter. But since we separated it, you have to separate people's time.
Well, we could hire a township employee to do what you wanted me to do. I can't be out there 24/7. I got some technical that's coming, but I am out there watching, observing, questioning, and those kind of things.
Well, those timesheets of all those people that have done, if their timesheet is for the whole 20, or whole 8 hours, or 9 hours, or 10 hours that they're out there, and you know they're doing both things, then those timesheets are wrong.
I hate to be one of those people that says, I told you so. But when this first came up, and Fred, you do an outstanding job with Recreation Department. I think you do a wonderful job. You have a great Recreation Department. You're not a contractor. And that was my concern from the very start. And this is just sort of proves my point, that everything is getting so confused and discombobulated because we have nobody that has actual construction experience overseeing the process. You have construction?
Yes, I do.
You do? Moving earth?
Yes.
Big projects?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's news to me. So anyway, I think because you have other duties and other responsibilities here in the township, I think you're relying entirely too much on our subcontractor to make decisions. And
That doesn't fly.
Huh?
And that doesn't fly.
And it does not fly at all. Somebody has to be accountable, just like Trustee Rumble said earlier, somebody has to be accountable, and unfortunately, you volunteered for that responsibility, and I don't want to take a hammer to you, but somebody has to get their garters snapped, and stuff runs downhill, and if you have to snap some garters over here, snap some garters.
Or there needs to be separate people working the $16,000 job and separate people working the other job to keep it
Totally separate, so we
totally
can look
separate.
at
So
it
you
and
can
say.
figure out and make sure we're not being double dipped.
Fred, you just gotta rein the contractors in and remember that you're in charge, not them.
But you need to make
Absolutely.
sure that we're not being double dipped. So that's why we're concerned about giving you this, because now this is happening, that it sounds like we're being charged for rentals that we're not supposed to be, and.
This is an
Well,
emergency, that's an emergency, now
Yeah,
all of a sudden it's 50,000.
As soon as I found out, I put a stop to it. I
Well,
had
and then-
no
Well, that's
idea
good.
the topsoil was.
Yes,
I'm
but
not
now
trying to
we-
beat you up either,
and
but I'm
now-
just saying
and
you
I'm
gotta-
not trying to either. I
You gotta
just-
be on top of it.
But now that has to get back to us, or we have to get paid for it. I don't want it just to be gone, and all of a sudden we lost our money, or I don't want to pay for something that got done that we didn't approve to get done.
Or the DNR goes, sorry, Charlie, you're not getting that money.
Yeah.
Next.
Everything's good with the DNR right now.
Until we're told otherwise.
Right.
Well, and right now, I think that we need to get 3 bids on everything until we have something in writing from the DNR that we don't have to.
I think, let's go back to the motion, and I think that I agree with all of you, and I think that we need to oversee any bids going forward, or any spending going forward.
Only over the amounts that are in our policy.
Right,
Yes.
right, that's what I'm saying.
And if you need approval to finish this pipe thing, we can make a motion to approve that, but the motion to approve all of it.
And if that means,
With all the
4 of us
measurements
meeting on
done.
our rush hour, so that we have a quorum,
Yeah,
then we do that, okay? I mean, we don't
You'll
need.
be able to get 4 people pretty easily. if you
It's
need
the
to
school
look at
year
the
now.
emergency.
I'm not going anywhere. My kids are in school. I might have a work meeting.
That's
but-
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, all we need is 4. There are gonna be like a lot.
Well, in most days, 3 are already in the building, so we need one of us 4 to be there, and it can happen.
I've been told by 2 different elected officials that I can't get a bid, or not a bid, approval by phone calls, and one says I can get approval by phone calls. What is it?
What's our policy say?
Huh?
What
What's
does
our
the policy
policy
say?
Does it say anything about that?
I think Kathy would.
Okay, but here would be my thought. You don't want to just get a phone call, because what if you just pick up a sticky note and go, this is what I got? Is that going to stand up anywhere? When Mr. So-and-so comes over and goes, I was lowered, or you didn't call me.
If it's on the phone, can you just ask them to send you an email with the
Right.
quote in it?
Right, that's what I've
You
been
can
doing.
do that, and they've
Just
all
get something in
got
writing.
their little logo stuff on it, so then they're covered.
Yeah, it's easy to scan and email something, or take a picture and email a picture.
I've been
Everybody's got
taking- I've
phones.
been taking a lot of pictures, I've been emailing a lot of people, I've been keeping contact with DNR. You know, yes, I did ask for this job to oversee this park, because, you know, I've been here for quite a while, and I've seen it from start, and I hope to see it finish. But I did not ask to do this and then be told that I could be fired. I mean, I wouldn't have signed up for this job.
Has anybody said anything about being fired?
I don't think those words came out of my mouth.
Yes, I was told I could be fired, and I don't want that, so.
Well, I mean, it does come back to you, but can you be fired for it? I don't know why you couldn't be fired for it, but
Well,
just
there's
do
the
things.
responsibility. I took on a new responsibility. It's not my job description. Yeah, overseeing the park is.
Yeah.
But I took on construction, and, you know, my background is, I was a pipe setter back in the day. I operated excavator, dozers, you name it. I laid grades, I laid pipe.
Oh, see, I
I have an idea what's going on out there. And I know blueprints, and
Fred, we're
we
not-
had
and
4
this one-
blueprints that were not good.
I'm not trying to micromanage you because I don't have time to do that and I don't care to do that, but I just want stuff done right.
Right, and that's the way I am, I don't have time to micromanage either, so that's why I was trying to give you some ideas. They need to.
Well, the hiccups I see was topsoil was moved off the property, it should have been.
Correct.
And then we may do a better job looking at these timesheets, make sure they're itemized. This is topsoil removal, that comes out of Rogers 16,000. The others, we're hiring for land balancing. It's all operating.
And Fred, I don't
Right,
have
but
any
as
problem
those
doing
land
this either,
balancers-
the fight part, I mean, we can, if that needs to be done, that's fine.
Right,
But going forward, let's do everything right.
yeah, and I want 3 bids.
The timesheets also have to be per grant, right? Are they split up a certain amount of time
Yep,
for each grant?
we have developed,
Well, I don't think the contractor needs to do that, Fred can allot them to which one it's under, right?
yeah, we have timesheets, 2 separate timesheets. One has the grant number 1 on it, the other timesheet has grant number 2 on it.
It's just if they're mixing work that's contract work versus the other
Yeah,
work.
it's like
they
double
need
dipping.
to be separated.
I have another comment from the
Yes.
clerk. I would like to see an independent engineer to have access to the project for free or $500 fee. Now, get a plan and stick to it.
I don't understand.
Independent, yeah, to assess where we're at.
And we do, that's funny Kenny said that, because we do have a engineer, we just hired him. He's basically doing great work, but his engineering background is in topo, or shooting GPSs for mining, stuff like, it's all about grade work. And I sat down with him twice today, went over the print. Roger was not there, it was just me and this guy, and his name is Phil. And we went over, because why the engineers would have a parking lot and not drain towards the ditches in the wetland, but had it draining towards the baseball fields is maybe an oversight on their part, or it's flat, so water won't drain anywhere. So that's where the piping's coming in. And then we are asking, he's gonna get with me tomorrow, he's taking a look at the print, and it's just little stuff. But he's gonna ask me, or tell me what he feels about it, and then I'm gonna get with Jamie and get his stamp of approval on it. And Jamie's already told me that, yeah, you might run into some issues, just call me and we'll stamp it, basically. He wants it done. And, I mean, we've been having some issues with HRC, there's no doubt. I mean, we had 4 blueprints on it.
So what are we're paying this engineer?
No,
To do engineer
no,
work?
no.
Well, my
What's Candy
recommendation,
asking?
yeah, my recommendation is if we get an engineer, as Candy suggested, that maybe the 3 of you
How
are.
we gonna pay for it? And what are we gonna pay
Yeah, I don't, think- I agree with Candy, I don't think this is going well at all. And my recommendation would be the 3 of you, Terry, Candy, make the decision of who that engineer is. So you can have some, we have some guaranteed impartiality.
Well, I think that that is gonna be a cost over $2,500, and it would have to come back to the board for approval.
Isn't it just something HRC, isn't that part of HRC cost to already look over it?
We haven't had much luck with HRC
A different engineer.
For what purpose?
to get an overview of the whole situation and see where we're at. We're getting all these confused stories.
Well, how are they gonna know what happened in the past, though? I don't understand what's the purpose of the engineer coming in, because how are they gonna know what already happened? They weren't here.
If I might add, the dozer that we're renting currently for land balancing has GPS on it. It's got a TV screen in it, and basically the GPS system set up over there, they go pull on the dozer blade, and literally you don't touch the blade apparatus at all. And that TV screen will show you the elevations that blade's gonna be dropping forward, backward, sideways, all that kind of stuff. And it showed right on there, the gravel is going towards the baseball. That's an HRC mistake. We could get HRC to fix that, but, you know, we contracted to build this park according to the blueprint. If we do that, we're gonna have problems. There's just a couple little tweaks that I'm sure HRC can fix, but we just wanna get their stamp of approval on that. And this guy, this young guy that does engineering said he would help me with that, just to give me some suggestions, and I would take that suggestion back to Jamie. And Jamie will say, you know, yeah, you're right.
Candy's input was, engineer would look at the job that has been done, either stop it or redo it, or keep going with what's being done, just to assess how it's,
Progressed in this part.
yeah.
To which point?
So you're suggesting to have HRC come over and
No.
assess what's going on now?
No.
She wants to hire an independent engineer to take a look at and give an evaluation of how the job is progressing.
Do we know of anybody that might just stop by?
Do we really need that? I don't know if we really need that.
Are you comfortable with where things are right now with this?
I'm not saying I'm not comfortable with the work that was being done. What I'm not comfortable with is that the soil ended up over at bedrock. I'm not comfortable with items being over 2,500 that didn't get bid. And I'm not comfortable knowing that things aren't being double dipped, but the engineer's not gonna be able to tell that because that happened in the past. So the stuff that I'm not comfortable with, I don't think it has anything to do with an engineer. I have faith that they're building it correctly and figuring out what they need to do, and that's the only thing the engineer would be able to do.
We can ask Jamie like we had that one meeting before to come on over.
Right.
That would help pretty good.
I agree with you. I don't know what another engineer's gonna do for us. I mean, we don't have money for another engineer.
You were an engineer.
Not that guy.
You got that right.
I mean, I see what Candy is
I
saying.
do know that nothing, water shouldn't flow toward fields, it should flow away from fields.
yeah.
And I mean, that's a no-brainer. I mean, I don't know what they, but then again, HRC has not been my favorite.
They haven't been mine either, but I think that's more time that we don't have to spend.
No, I agree. I don't want HRC involved any more than they have been. I really am not an HRC fan.
I guess my counter to that is, are we gonna be held hostage by this, but we don't have time, and then if the product,
No, because I'm not gonna approve this.
We're
Well,
gonna
no, I-
approve,
no, I-
we're gonna approve.
But we approve the
well,
budget.
I can't say we're gonna approve, we're going to vote
Yeah,
on
we're
the
gonna vote
budget.
on the pipe. I mean, it does have to be done, or we're gonna lose the money, so there is a time element. But I'm not gonna have that as an excuse for every little thing.
Right, but I mean, we can vote on the pipe, but not the soda down.
Okay, so how much are we spending on pipe?
Well, the new order that I haven't put in yet is like $3,000.
So 3,000 in addition to the 2610?
You've
No.
got 2610 in here.
We bought, well, that's what was my estimate. I got the quote, it's just over 3,000. We had a, I
Wait,
just
why
got a
did you
quote
say the
today.
cost, you said the cost of the pipe was 2610, like it was already spent? Not the cost of the
We
pipe?
ordered pipe already because
Okay.
we had to purge.
Okay.
So we
it
had
was
pipe and gravel.
2610.
Those are two things I didn't get the bids on.
Okay, so how much was the gravel?
The gravel is over $6,000.
There you go.
That was, we already knew about the 6 grand, you didn't.
So you're at
comment on
8610 then?
But now you need another 3
Right on
grand,
there, yeah.
and now you need
Well, we haven't
another.
spent
How much more pipe do you need?
500 feet,
How much is it?
just over $3,000.
So
So
you
that's
need
almost
roughly
$6,000.
$11,000 total.
No, he's already
No.
spent the 6, he's already spent the 2610. Now he wants to spend another 3, is that correct?
Yes.
Do I get it right? So you have 6 plus 2610 is 8610, plus another 3
That's what I
is
said,
11610. Right, but he's already spent part of it though.
Yeah.
Not
No, I
another.
know.
I thought
So
you were
I'm
saying
just
he
saying
needed
you're approved
11.
up to $11,000 for this.
Right, I thought you meant 11 plus
I got
what he's
For
already
the
done.
2610, what kind of pipe is that?
It's a 12-inch, kind of like a,
So that,
you've seen drain pipe, the small 4-inch
that's
stuff,
culvert.
that's 12-inch stuff.
It's culvert pipe that was installed.
Yeah, you can
out
use
there.
it for culverts.
Okay.
What kind, is it
The
metal,
three-
plastic,
the three
or?
thousand.
Plastic, real thick plastic.
Okay.
And it gets a sand base, and it also gets a gravel top.
Gotcha.
So that's the white ones that have the holes in them up there.
We have white ones with holes in them, that's to lay, and over top of that, to drain surface water.
But,
This is to drain, to purge in a very low area in the far center of the whole property.
that's for the 2610 and the 3000?
No, that's different, you just said.
No,
You said the
The pipe with the
2610,
holes
you
in it?
said the 2610.
it's part of that first purchase,
It's part of the 2610.
yes.
Pipe with the hole of that, that
The
big.
4-inch
one.
pipe.
So
Yeah.
basically, we need
Said
to.
The 4-inch pipe is back there by the big tree.
I thought that was wood.
It was 6, 6,
How much do we pay for the, that white pipe, that big square stack of white pipe that's out there already?
I have to dig up the bill, but the total of that was just over 2,500. Or was this 2610 for the total, for the 12-inch pipe and the white pipe
Oh, together.
altogether?
And then the gravel was 6,000.
Right around 6,000.
So you're at 80, so you want us to approve the 8610 that's already been spent, which I don't have a problem with that.
plus then another.
And then you're asking for another 3,000 for the remaining pipe.
Right.
So it's,
I'm fine with that.
okay, and are these accurate numbers, or are you just averaging, because we're at 11,610, so should we just say 12?
Well, you can if you want, but we have enough. We have enough
Just do it
there.
separately.
Like I say, the only thing,
Well, is he sure about the costs, or is he just giving us estimated approximates?
Well, he paid 26 here and he knows how much he needs.
Was it exactly
How many
6,
feet was
and
the
it
26
exact-
up 10 for?
we have a total of 800 feet of the 12-inch pipe, and I can't remember what those, there's about 400 feet of the 4-inch pipe.
Everything is
Okay.
about, so I'm just asking, is the 2610 the
Well, I don't
exact
have
amount
it
that
in
you
front.
spent?
Is it 2610 what?
Exact.
Yes, we
Or
already
was
paid
it,
that.
But the
Okay.
three, but I think it's a little bit more than the
Oh,
3,000.
yeah, I see your frustration. Say your question again.
it was exactly 2610 that you spent, or was it 2611 and 12 cents type of a deal? Was it,
2610.
it was exactly 2610?
What about the gravel for
Was
6,000?
it exactly 6, or are you just giving me an?
That's a rough estimate, because I'm not sure. I know it was around that.
That's why I'm saying, does he need more, because if we're approving
got
something
it.
for 6 and he spent 6,100, you know, he's just giving me an approximate, that's what I'm trying to
So-
get
And
at.
the
So make that
3,000, I
that.
think is a little more than 3,000.
That's what I'm trying to figure out here. Sorry,
And then the remaining pipe.
when I do accounting, it's the exact numbers.
I probably should have dashed the bills.
Yes.
If you want them paid, you gotta put them in there.
You gotta know how much I'm approving.
Well, just do it up to 9,000 then for that, and gives him another $400. If his estimate's off by that bad, I don't know what
Fred,
to do.
if we,
We have a meeting tomorrow.
if
where
we,
can
if
edit
we,
it.
table this to the end of the meeting, could you supply us with the full amount of what you
Yeah,
need?
you have that
Yeah.
here.
And, because
Yeah,
we can go on into our
Yeah, I think.
Rest of our
meeting, and
meeting.
bring it back.
We can do his hours. We can do the hours thing.
Yeah, let's do the hours.
Oh, the second sheet?
Yeah.
So all you're asking for there is another half hour and then a whole nother day of Sunday. Another half hour per day and then all of Sunday.
Yeah, and on the back is the hours of operation at the very bottom.
I see
That's
that.
our ordinance. That's how our ordinance is.
Well,
written.
my concern is daylight is,
Yeah, that's before daylight now.
yeah, 7 o'clock AM to 8 PM, and
8:30 p.m.
you want to change to 8:30. 8 o'clock it's dark.
Well, It's just to put the machinery away.
Put the machine away, pull the trucks out.
Okay, here's my question.
Yes.
If that's true.
Do you
Or is it we're gonna work
remember
till
the
8:30 and then we're gonna put this
law we
away?
got into with
No, it has to be
Elbridge?
done by 8:30.
Because their operation hours were here and they were warming up their equipment for 2 hours before and an hour after, and the whole people were chomping at the bit because, yeah, they weren't operating, but their machines were running and causing chaos for the
Yeah, they were in a
neighbors.
residential area as well.
Well,
Just
you
The
are.
one guy that
people,
made a
you
complaint
still
is 4
got
mile
people.
away.
You know, you got houses
No.
across the street there. I know people who live across the street there, and it is work time and it is school time. And I think daylight is, I know you're running low on time, but I know if I was by there and I'm trying to get my kids to bed at 8:30, I mean, my kids are a little bit older now, but if they were elementary age living
But
over
the
there.
crew's showing up at 7 and yeah, they're firing up the machine, that's by code.
Oh, that's fine.
But 7's within our ordinance.
Ordinance,
Right,
and
It's-
8 is
It's
our
8 to
ordinance.
8:30.
Right, but it gets dark at 8.
It starts getting dark, it's not completely dark. It's
I was
just,
looking at
it's
time.
just to allow an extra half hour to put the machinery away.
Is that the question? Is it really a half hour to put the machinery away, or is it going to work till 8:30 and then you
And
put
then
the
put the
machinery away
machinery
till
away.
9?
The way diesels are worked is, you just don't pull up and turn key off. You
Right.
pull
Right,
up,
they
you
gotta-
let them idle down, and that's that little half an hour that they need to idle them down.
So they're going to only
Or-
work till 8?
If you're in a situation where something's gotta be filled, and you just can't stop, they're gonna finish it. If you got rain coming in the forecast, you gotta finish it. That's the way construction is, I'm sorry.
But again, if it's 8 o'clock, if you're asking for 8:30, it doesn't say you're asking for 8:30 to put the machines away, you're just saying construction occurs between 7 and 8:30.
Right.
So should it read, construction occurs between 7 and 8, and you have 8 to 8:30 to put the equipment away?
If you wanna make rules for the construction people, go right ahead, but I'm just asking for 7 to 8:30, we're done. And Sunday.
But they won't be done.
Yeah, but they won't be done if they're shutting them off at 8:30 is what they're
Exactly.
saying, and then they're running for a half hour
No,
now.
that's my job to make sure that they're shutting, they're
Right.
They're all
tuning them
turned
down
off-
at 8
They're all
o'clock.
turned off at 8:30.
You're gonna
Yeah,
sit
I'm gonna make a
here-
phone call because I'm not sticking around at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I'm looking at this a little bit different. Is there an overtime liability here for us?
No, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Because the way I'm figuring it, that's 5.5 hours overtime per day at
Yeah, we don't, if they're contract, you don't have to pay overtime, but if they're employees, anything
Right.
over 40
Yes.
hours, anything
So-
over 40 hours a week.
Or 8 hours a day.
over 8 hours a day.
No, not 8 hours.
Yes, sir. It is.
We don't get that here.
Yes, we do.
Your hours
salary.
ever get over?
Yes, they do.
Time.
So that comes to
If they don't get
400,
40 hours,
a little over $450 per day
It's
overtime.
not their
Overtime
normal
pay after
hours.
8 hours a day. Overtime pay of time and a half is required for hours worked over 8 in a day, 40 in a week, and for the first 8 hours of the week. Is that Michigan? Hold on.
Well, the other
That's
situation
law.
we have out there, we got people leaving after an 8-hour shift or maybe a 10-hour shift, but then they're gone and we got more guys coming in from their other job to keep this thing rolling. And they might work 4 hours.
So going on with my concern about this then, we're extending the hours of work. Is that going to be added to the bill of $16,000 on top of, or is it $16,000 going to include all that overtime?
The $16,000 is just.
It's just for that one little tiny thing.
I get that, but we're
Not a little
hiring
tiny
somebody,
thing.
we're telling them now that they will be working
For
overtime,
the land balance.
right?
Have we voted in the land balance?
We're not hiring employees for the topsoil removal.
If Roger puts somebody on the machine that's moving topsoil, Roger's paying him.
And that's included in the 16,000?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, and we might want to check with our labor, but I'm pretty sure it's only if it's over 40 hours a week. So if someone works 10 hours one day and 6 the next day, and they're 40 hours a week, it's not overtime at the 10 hours.
Candy, do you know?
It used to be, but it looks like Michigan
Federal
changed
law.
it
I'm
in
pretty
2000.
sure
It's
Michigan
federal law in
changed.
March of,
Federal and state laws 40 hours, and union contracts are over 8.
but you go with Michigan law, because Michigan law is different with the, even our.
As I said, Michigan law, 40 hours.
Michigan law is 40 hours a week, not 8 hours a day. And you don't have to go by federal law if Michigan has a law. It's
Okay.
just like we have to pay the Michigan minimum wage, even though the federal minimum wage is here, because Michigan has a minimum wage.
So
If Michigan didn't have a minimum wage, then you have to pay the federal.
So at 5.5 hours per day overtime, times say 5, they only get it for 5 days a week, that's still 27.5 hours
Oh, yeah,
overtime.
that's what Michigan says.
Thank you. Okay. I'm like,
Over
I've been
40
paying my
hours.
work people longer for my
They're,
taxes.
are you calculating for
It used to be 8
all
hours.
week and all
It used to be.
No, just 5 days a week.
We have 3 weeks to save 150 grand. After 3 weeks, 150 grand's blown. So don't worry about overtime, worry about the 150 grand.
I'll worry about overtime, thank you very much. That is our job, to worry about overtime in dollars and cents.
Yeah, it is.
Right, and you can't base it on an 80 hour, like if you pay bi-weekly, you can't combine the weeks. Like if you pay bi-weekly, you can't combine the weeks based on just the week. So you can't say, oh, 1 week they work 7 days, and next week
Exactly, I
they work
know, yeah,
90,
exactly.
right. Based on,
It's 40 hours a week
right.
in Michigan.
Okay, so where are we at?
7 to 8:30 is what he's asking for.
Okay,
We
so-
still haven't decided if the 8:30 is still on the machine or putting the machine away. And do they warm up at 7 or do they warm up before 7 and start working at 7? Because the Enbridge people were on our backs about that.
Right, and they kept asking and we kept denying them. I understand this is us trying to get something done, but I think we should give preference to it because it's us.
So Fred, this is, all the machinery is off at 8:30?
Right, that's, I don't know why we're worried about this. It's 7 to 8:30, period.
But you said unless there's a job to be
Yeah,
done and rain's coming
Well,
in.
and here's my question.
Well, yeah,
If
what's
it's
wrong
too
with that?
dark- well,
What
hold
is
on.
wrong with that? It's
Well, but-
construction.
But Fred, if it's
Well, it's
getting
just
too
because our
dark,
policy says that.
could there be an accident where someone gets hurt? I
Right.
mean, there's no lighting out there.
They're not gonna work in the dark.
Well, they will if they work at 8:30.
No, if it's dark, they're gonna shut down, because.
They're gonna be shutting down at 7.
Yeah, soon the time
It
changes.
gets dark at
All
7.
right, why don't we just leave it at 8 and talk about Sunday?
Yeah, yeah.
We leave it at 8,
And
7
talk
to 8.
about Sunday.
8 to 8 or 7 to 8?
Does
No,
anybody,
it's
does
not
anybody have an
Sunday,
issue with
either
Sunday
time.
work?
Get rid of that.
Sunday, we want to.
Yeah, I don't think.
You don't think they should?
Maybe
have
not
it?
that long of a day on Sunday, but
Why do you have a problem with extra half hour? Is it gonna,
because it's gonna be dark and you're not gonna be, you shouldn't be operating equipment after
Right,
dark.
we don't need an accident.
well, okay.
I
I mean,
agree
dark
with what,
right now isn't till 8:30.
I
And
agree
dark
with what
is right
Jason
now
said
is 8
earlier.
o'clock.
We have an ordinance,
Right.
and the ordinance is for the residents. Why should we make an exception to that ordinance?
Just because
to
it's the township
satisfy
ordinance.
our needs.
Right. Then we're being selfish.
Yeah.
Because-
I mean, we denied Enbridge 6 times on this.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Sunday then.
Well, we got 120 feet of pipe in, right, okay? It's 7:15, I got 20 more feet of pipe to put in. It's gonna take me 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, you got 45 minutes, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, the sun's setting today at 8:02.
I'm just saying, if it rains and fills that trench, but you could have had that 20 feet in and it was done, I'm not saying it's gonna happen, those are circumstances that could happen.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda, that's like you said, that's part of construction.
It's Mother Nature. We don't have any control over it, just like you don't.
But we do have control finishing the job.
But we
If
do
it takes
also
15 more
have an
minutes, and it went over
ordinance that says
15 minutes, you
8
guys
o'clock,
gonna
so
get all,
we're saying
Okay,
8.
here's my thing with the Sunday. If you do Sunday, you for sure are gonna have people working overtime. And have we counted as the overtime work into our budget when we?
But
make
we
these
have people
decisions?
that have full-time jobs that are working.
Well, that's what I was just
during
gonna say, or is the Sunday work not going to be people who are making the overtime when we can have, like, you know, you might have 10 people for the job, and some people worked 40, and some people, you control your overtime, like employers do, you know, they don't have someone working at a store,
So just say only the employees
they have
can
enough
work.
employees to not work
Employees
overtime.
can't work more than 40, but the contractors can because we don't have to pay them overtime.
There you go.
I don't care, I'm okay with the Sunday work, I just don't like 7 to 8 for Sunday work.
That's true too.
I'm okay with Sunday, but you need to change the time.
but I do got it. I just wanna, not trying to fight,
Nope, nope.
but we got excess amount of money. As long as we don't go over that, we should be able to gets this thing done, if it takes overtime or not.
I'm okay, okay.
There's no such thing as excess money.
No.
I just say,
We just
Well-
said excess money.
wrong word, we have this amount of money, $449,500.
But if you have enough
We can do the
crew,
job with overtime.
but if you have enough crew, you can work out to make sure they're not working overtime.
If that's what your wish is, yes, sir.
That's what I would try to accomplish, is you have enough crew that you don't have to work overtime. It's just like a grocery store, they have enough crew, staff, employees, to make sure that someone's not working over 40 because it's not in their budget.
And what I've
You can do
observed so
that.
far is that we have a daytime crew that comes in, and then they go home, and then we have a nighttime crew come in, and then we have a weekend.
It's also not just about us not paying overtime, it's also about if they're working 7 to 8 and taking an hour lunch, that's a 12-hour day. And if they're doing that 7 days a week, that's a lot of toll on someone, and I would hate to see them get hurt or have an accident because they're overly tired too. I mean, 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week is a lot. So it's not just about our overtime, it's also about safety for the people.
Well,
And I'm okay doing like a Sunday, say 10 to 6, because that's an 8-hour shift.
you feel that way about me? I work 12-hour days all the time.
Well, I do too, Fred.
Sometimes I do too.
Construction people are accustomed to that. That's what.
Yeah, but you're getting paid hourly,
Spring, summer, and
salary.
fall.
Yeah, your salary, there's the difference.
But think about it, their seasons is spring, summer, fall.
I know. And you gotta get construction done when you can, I understand, but.
Well, yeah, and
9:30,
you're working with
6:30,
people with
something.
different schedules. That is so.
I still say we have an ordinance that covers this, and it doesn't cover it for us, it covers it for the residents.
That's true.
No, the construction.
But the reason is because of the noise for the
Right,
residents.
right.
And that's why I'm opposed to Sunday. Give these people a rest, so it's not 7 days a week. So at least Sunday they can say, oh, I can at least relax, because
Yeah.
there's no,
Yeah, but it's also soon gonna be, you're not gonna be outside as much. 'cause
but there again, that's my concern, would be held hostage
How
by
loud,
this
okay, how
time.
loud is it over there? I haven't heard it at my house.
That bulldozer is quieter than a lot of cars.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I mean, I don't know how loud it is.
Come out and listen to it.
True, but how many things are you running at once? You're not just running
I
8.
live a mile away, I don't hear a thing.
Okay, then.
I'm probably
The
less than a mile away.
dump
I
trucks
don't hear
are
it.
quiet. They're state-of-the-art machinery, you guys.
Yeah,
Well, if you're gonna do Sunday, just do something like 10 to 5.
well, I said 10 to 6, it's an 8-hour day.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that either.
And one of the reasons we're asking for this is because we are on
I know, we're
campus.
not.
Yeah, I know.
That's my biggest reason.
I prefer the 7 to 8, because it gets dark, and the 10 to 6 on Sunday, so that's where I stand. And,
I'm okay with that.
Make a motion or vote or whatever.
I don't think we have to change it,
We have to change
Yeah,
it
you
at
do.
Sunday.
Because it
Yeah.
says through Saturday.
but not 7 to 8 is already in the
Correct.
ordinance. So, but we do have to add
Sunday.
Sunday.
And decide on the time.
So we only need to even mention Sunday in this motion, because the other
Right,
days are
correct.
already covered.
But we need to put a time, because otherwise it looks like it's 7 to 8 if you just add Sunday.
All right, I'll make the motion to say 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday.
I'll support.
Gives you 8 more hours a week.
Could make a difference.
Yeah, it could go.
Should make a difference.
Construction to occur between the hours of 10 to 6
To
on
allow
Sunday.
LWCF grant support construction
To occur on Sundays.
to
I
occur.
just said to occur between the 10 and 6 p.m.
On Sunday.
on Sundays.
Yeah, to allow the
allow,
LWCF
yeah.
grant supported construction to occur
Allow.
between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. on
Sundays.
Sundays in 2019 at Brandon Township Community Park.
Yep.
You want to put a time frame on this, because this project will go into 2020 and 2021.
Well, let's see where we're at in the
Yeah,
Right.
we can come back
let's
to,
come back to it.
because
Okay.
because it's
Yeah.
gonna end in this November, whenever freeze law starts, right?
Yeah.
And then when 19, or when 20 gets here and you wanna start back up, we'll see where we stand if you need the time or not.
I mean, basically to the end of the
Not
year,
that
that gives
hard.
you about 96 more hours.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
There's
And then we see where
12
we
weeks,
stand, there's plenty of meetings
essentially.
in 2020.
Wait, who made that motion?
I did.
And who seconded the motion?
I did. There's plenty of time come April, when frost thaws, you can let us know.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble and it is seconded by trustee DePalma to allow LWCF grant-supported construction to occur between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Sundays in 2019 at the Brandon Township Community Park. Correct?
Yes.
Any discussion on this motion?
I just hope people don't come and say they're warming up at 6:30.
Have we had any complaints yet about the construction of the park,
We had a phone call.
about noise?
No, it was basically, the guy did not leave his name, all he said, he backed up to the park. And I can assume who it was, but I'm not gonna say it, but that according to ordinance, construction is supposed to be 7 to 8, that's all he said.
Okay.
So they
Well,
were
were we
warming up
doing something?
before.
He said the ordinance is 7 to 8, no, they've been working past 8, they don't get there till 7.
Okay,
Yeah, they've been working 9 o'clock at night.
Okay.
yeah.
Remember, we started this 6 weeks ago, we still haven't quite.
Okay, any other discussion on this motion? No? Okay, so, again, it's to allow the LWCF grant-supported construction to occur between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Sundays in 2019 at Brandon Township Community Park. Roll call, please.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Darnell,
No,
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
No.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries 5-2.
Thank you. And we got. the other
Go put
one.
your numbers together for us, buddy.
Yeah. Of what you spent and what you need to spend that you need board approval for.
To finish this,
Finish the pipe.
or anything else that,
Is associated with the pipe.
or anything else that you have spent that's not
And
counted.
we'll table this until that was meeting.
Yep, just put it on the end of the night.
So who would like to make a motion to table?
So moved.
Yeah, that's it.
Support the table, we are supporting the table at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. We have to do that to take it out of
That was you, Chris, right?
Yes.
Okay. I have a motion by trustee Cordella and a second by trustee DePalma to table
Basically, the purchasing procedure.
the purchasing procedures until the end of the meeting. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay, so we'll move on to the TB Foods LLC liquor license request.
All right, so Class C license, guys, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, I was wondering what a class C
It
license.
has to be consumed on premises.
Okay.
okay.
Is this a license transfer or is it a new license?
A new
New
license.
license.
For a new full-year Class C license.
Consume on premises, so it's not,
Sold and consumed on premises.
okay.
Who is Tubi?
It's the Trini Mexican.
Oh,
grill,
okay.
Okay, this
And
is,
also in,
yep,
Sashbac.
TB Foods LLC for a new full-year Class C license to be located at 5500 Oak Hill, Suite 400, Clarkston, Michigan, 48348, Brandon Township, Oakland County, to be considered for either approval or refusal. And I believe the board has some questions, and ladies, are you here to?
Yeah.
If you could stand at the podium and then, who had questions?
Thank you for your endurance.
Yes. All right, who had questions about,
Well, I was gonna ask what a Class C was, 'cause I didn't look it up,
Yeah, it's.
But that's sold on
All of it's
premises.
sold and consumed on premises.
So are you just a carryout, or are you?
No, I'm gonna move. I am a carryout in Suite 100 right now.
Okay,
But Molly is leaving, so I'm taking over her spot.
Oh.
And but she's taking her license with her.
okay.
That's the problem.
So-
I mean, that's what it is.
Is this just for once you do move and you're not a
Mhm,
carryout
yes.
anymore? Okay.
Right.
Okay, because I've eaten there before.
Oh.
I like, are you related to someone down in Waterford?
The
then?
Tree and Carmen's, yes.
Okay.
That's
you
my
don't-
parents.
Okay. I was concerned because I knew you were a carryout there, and I was concerned, how are you going to sell
No.
if you're a carryout?
We have margaritas to go. No.
Drive
I'm
through.
moving.
You can't sell bottle stuff to go, but
You
it's
can
another
sell
license.
bottles,
Another
right, it's a
license.
different license, right, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
So
No,
right
so
now, what
she's
suite are
leaving.
you in right now?
I'm in Suite 100 and she's in Suite 400.
Okay.
I'm
I
on the
couldn't tell
opposite
on-
end as her, right?
Right, I
What-
couldn't tell online what the suite numbers were, so
Oh.
I wasn't sure, I thought
Yeah.
it was for the suite you're in now. So
Yeah,
this
no.
license you wouldn't be able to use here, you wouldn't be able to use until you move in. When
Right.
are you moving in?
Yeah, when the.
Oh, she's gonna leave at any time, at any point she can.
Oh,
She wants to leave ASAP,
okay.
so,
Is she waiting on you then to move, basically?
she's waiting on me,
Gotcha.
yeah.
does she know where she's moving to?
She's not moving anywhere. I mean, she's not moving her business. She's a teacher and she's going back to teaching.
Oh,
That's what she
But
said.
she is closing there, and then you're gonna close your carryout location.
Right.
Do carryout and dine in
Mhm,
there.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
shutting down Suite 400.
No, she's studying.
No, I'm moving into Suite 100.
Shutting down
That
100.
was 100.
Oh, you're moving, I'm sorry, I had mixed up. Okay, very good. So you're moving on Suite 100, you're moving to 400.
Yes,
So it's just replacing the liquor license because.
right,
Molly's
because
keeping
she's
hers.
taking hers, yeah.
Whatever if she
Doing
decides to
hers,
open it or
yeah.
sell it in the future.
Mhm.
Okay.
and it seems as though these liquor licenses are worth money
Mm-hmm.
after you get them.
Yeah, already
And
issued
you were
ones are.
gonna
The
clarify that.
transfer is way easier than the getting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I buy the place that's got a liquor license.
Yeah.
So much easier that way.
But these are state issued liquor licenses, and so
Yeah.
our part in this is just to.
Say we okay with it.
Well,
Or
don't
not okay.
do we have them, like, are we at our limit in the township, isn't there like limits and stuff?
Yes, and this will be our last one.
But if Molly moves, then does that open up another one, because she closes hers
No,
here?
she
We're filling
keeps it
it.
with her.
Just take it with her.
She keeps it with her, but it's not in Brandon Township anymore.
Wait, so no other restaurants could ever open in Brandon Township and get a liquor license?
Correct.
Wow.
Well, or
Unless,
Molly,
unless they
No,
purchase.
she
Somebody
can
else.
sell hers.
Yeah.
She can sell hers.
Yeah.
She can sell it, you know,
but if she
Anywhere.
closes
I
her
got you.
location here, doesn't that stop her liquor license from being here?
No one state issue, it's not a job. right?
yeah, because
She
it's
can
not
put the
locally in
It's
liquor
transfer.
license in escrow
Yeah.
for up to 10 years.
Yep.
So for 10 years, she holds it, and now we can't issue anymore in Brandon Township. But she can't use it there, but she can't just reopen and use it anywhere, can she? We have to approve, or can she reopen and?
Well, if
use
it's
it?
not in Brandon Township, we don't have to approve.
But then if she moves to a different township, then doesn't that give us our one back?
No, because we already replaced it with this one.
No,
No.
No. no.
That doesn't-
We have one more right now. We have one left.
We don't get one back.
We don't get one back.
I thought you do.
But if she moves and opens in another township.
Right, so,
she
right,
transfers it.
right, so I think that you do lose, you gain a spot when she leaves.
Transfers it.
Yes,
But
because
if,
she doesn't have to stay in Brandon, she can
Right.
go to another county,
and she-
anywhere in the county and use that liquor license.
well, she has to
So
ask them.
you, right, I mean, she has to be approved by the
But not until
township
she
board.
sells it, because it's issued to us until
Right,
she gets rid of it.
but you get an open one since she's taken hers, yeah, you should get that back. I think they do. Because it goes by capita, it goes by capita of the population,
Okay.
so you should,
Liquor
it should be,
control's fun to
it
deal with.
should come back.
Yeah.
Do we know of
I sold
anything
like
else?
4 bars.
Do we know of anything else opening in the township right now that's gonna want a liquor license? That would be
Not
planning
right now.
commission question. I know there's a storage unit, there's Taco Bell and another storage unit, I know that.
No, not that we know.
Sometimes.
And she cannot, if we approve hers there, Molly cannot use her, like
She
we,
can't use it anywhere.
she
near.
can't use it without approval for us again in Brandon Township, correct? Because hers is at that location.
Right.
So if she wants to use it somewhere else in Brandon, we have to approve it.
Yes.
And then if she wants to transfer it to another township, then ours should open back up. Or if she sells it to somebody who's using it in another township, it should open back up. And if she sells it to somebody within our township, then we have to approve it, is that correct?
I don't know.
I think so. I think that's how it works.
Okay.
Jason, have you done this before?
Not in Brandon Township, but I've been through the process of the Liquor Control Commission like 4 or 5 times in my
Okay.
years as an
So
attorney.
what do you got to say about it?
I thought you didn't get it back,
I didn't think you did either.
but I haven't had to deal with
Based
that.
on your experience, you don't think we get it back?
That was my thought, but I don't know that to be 100% true.
Because they recently changed the law in the last couple of years.
Yeah, they
on
did.
Being able to take the liquor license with you
With you.
when you moved and you moved somewhere else.
So, okay.
So
You
I
know
don't,
that.
I don't really think we are opened up to get a license once
Well,
one moves
that's
out.
all.
No, so she could sell that to a business in Brandon Township and they could use it.
It's really all beside the point, it has nothing to do
Yeah, it
with
is.
this
Well,
So, well,
resolution, so.
I'll make this resolution as it's presented to approve it.
Support.
Okay, 2 people over there seconding.
Bob. Whatever. What do we want right now?
I'm giving it to you, Cordella.
All right, give it to me. I like liquor.
Oh, they're Davidson, actually. So now,
Yeah, that's fine, whatever.
I have a motion by, or the resolution is moved by trustee Rumble and seconded by trustee Cordella. That the request from TB Foods LLC for a new full-year Class C license to be located at 5500 Oak Hill Suite 400, Clarkson, Michigan 48348, Brandon Township, Oakland County, be considered for approval above all others.
Nobody else considering it, so I guess I'm
Yeah. Okay. It is the consensus of this legislative body that the application be recommended for issuance? Okay.
I have one question.
So first we need to vote.
I have to ask one last question. So it says it's for a full year, so after that year, you don't come back to us and say if it's approved or not approved, we will continue for the next year, is that correct?
Say that again, I'm sorry, I
It
didn't
says
understand.
for a new full year.
All the renewals will be done through the liquor control and everything.
Yes, yo,
That's what has to be renewal.
yeah, it goes through them.
As the states have never done a renewal.
Yeah, no, it goes through everything.
We'll never see it again.
We'll never see it again, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Darnall,
Yes.
La Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Or the resolution
Free
carries.
nachos now.
She's making that good food.
Huh?
She's making that good food, now
I
start
will.
making some great margaritas.
Oh, well, we got the recipe on that too.
There you go.
Make sure you got a happy hour with that too.
Oh, yeah, we will get to.
All right, next on our agenda, thank you,
Thank you,
ladies.
thank you.
Our part-time employment of senior van drivers.
Maybe read it.
After working for Brandon Township for 20 years, the full-time senior bus van driver Pat Reed retired on July 1st, 2019, leaving a shortage of drivers. We have advertised on 4 separate occasions to hire full-time and/or part-time drivers and have only received 2 applications this week. There are currently 2 temporary drivers that have been a great asset and we would like to hire them as part-time drivers. We are hoping to hire 2 more part-time drivers after they work on a trial basis. So for right now, she's asking to hire Deborah Broker and Deborah McPhail.
I'll make the motion as presented.
Support.
I have a motion by trustee trustee Rumble and a seconded by trustee Marshall to hire Deborah Broker and Deborah McFall effective as of September 4th, 2019 at a part-time hourly rate of $13.25 per the revised policies approved at the August 5th, 2019 regular board meeting. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the reason they're not at the bottom of the wage scale is because they've been working with us already a year. And what are they currently earning? 13.11. They're currently earning 13.11 as a temporary employee. Any discussion? It's getting quiet. Okay, roll call, please.
De Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen, Darnall,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries unanimously. Yeah, that was an easy one. Okay, now we are at our tax rates. Approval of the 2019 millage rates. The library debt is no longer included in our L4029s as it was paid off in full with the 2017 tax collection.
Yay.
Yeah, I know. So now we have no debt. Due to the Headley reduction fraction, the general operating millage decreased from .9746 to .9723. The fire operating and fire E&H tax rates will remain the same as last year, but be prepared for next year because I think those will probably go up, or not the operating, but the E&H they're talking about moving up.
Vehicles.
Right.
Yeah. The police millage levy, however, will increase this year from 3.8 to 4.1204. Voters approved up to 4.25 mils for police in the November election of 2018. The millage request must be levied for the full amount first year. At least that's how what I have been advised.
That's
for
what
That's the
MTA.
rule.
That's what I've been trying to read up on because I always thought that was a rule until Cheryl mentioned tonight it's not. So I've been trying to find it, and I wish she didn't leave, or I wish she would have provided where she saw it at, because I do question, is there something that we don't know about?
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
would
do
rely
too.
on what we have MTA for.
Right.
Well, but Cheryl used to be on the board too, so is there something?
I tried to look back in my emails and I couldn't find something.
So
but
what
it
makes
did
us
say-
think that we have to do
But
it?
it said, call me and discuss it, so I think I heard it verbally from Captain Mulhall from MTA. That's who I've been talking to.
But is it a
Who
state
said-
decision? Oh, well, MTA represents us to help us
Yeah.
determine what to. So MTA is saying we need to do this?
Correct.
Has the
That's my
township always?
That's what
my
we've done at
understanding.
every one we've
Well, we
That's
have
what we
since
did
we've been on
last-
board,
Yeah.
but what about
That's the
before
the
that?
last time we did the police millage,
We had to do that too.
We did that, but what about prior boards? Has that always been done, handled like that?
it was a 20-year police millage before
Oh.
we,
Right.
Oh, yeah,
so.
okay.
I'll make the motion as presented.
Support.
Okay. I just wanted to say that, so Cheryl watches us, that we did have a budget that we looked at, and that our CPA firm is recommending that we keep 50%. So that's what we were
As a
working.
minimum.
As a
As a
minimum.
minimum.
And so that's what
And I
we're
told
working
her that.
towards. I know, I'm just reiterating what I'm going off of. So I'm going off of that MTA says we have to do this. If I find anything different, then I'll know for future. But our CPA says 50% is the minimum, and we did look at it like that.
50% good amount?
That's a recommendation of the CPA, but
Okay.
we're not all,
Well, that's not.
we're not there on
That's
all.
not law, and that's not
No.
ordinance, and
Correct.
that's not policy.
That's CPA.
and That's whatever, yeah, that's a wish. That's a hope.
So what we're looking to approve is .9723 mils for general operating, 4.1204 for police, 3.8 mils for fire operating, and .5905 for fire E&H. And I have a motion by trustee Rumble and a second by trustee Marshall to approve the 2019 millage rates as presented. And I just read what was presented. Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Cordella?
No.
Marshall?
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes.
Allen? Darnall?
Yes.
De Palma?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes, motion carries. Okay. Next is the CDBG contract award for barrier removal at Raymond Fire Department Station number 2. Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Allen.
I'll support it.
I would like to say I was very pleased to see the dates of completion included in both of them.
So we have a suggested motion to award the fiscal year 2018 CDBG removal architectural barriers at Brandon Fire Department number 2 to Allied Building Services, base cost of $17,950 with a contract approved by Attorney Stuart Cooney and signed by the clerk.
Wait.
And that's, the motion's made by Clerk Allen and seconded by Trustee Rumble.
Okay. So we're using alternate number 1 in this bid?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. To make sure I was reading it correctly.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Marshall?
Yes.
Rumble?
Yes.
Allen? Darnall?
Yes.
De Palma?
Yes.
Cordella?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes, motion carries unanimously. And then we can move on to the township policy amendments. So there's 2 amendments. One is in regard to the meeting that 2 people got turned away. And so what ended up happening is the ones that didn't go back home we had a meeting and we approved vehicle purchases for the fire department. But I guess what we're putting in here in the policy is any questions regarding scheduled meetings or regarding scheduled meeting should be asked with us. Should be directed to the supervisor, and in the supervisor's absence, questions shall be directed to the clerk. In that instance, I was out driving and getting all these messages that I should not have been answering.
So here's my question. Should anything be added about who can and can't cancel a meeting?
Well, if you call the supervisor or
So-
the clerk, one of those 2 will be able to tell you.
But are they allowed to
Okay,
cancel a meeting
okay, so
without?
here's the question. The clerk and I called MTA the next day.
Mhm.
What, we're looking through all the books that we had and we couldn't find anything
Right.
about canceling meetings. So we called and said, well, what's the
Right.
procedure for canceling a meeting? And they purposely said there is no procedure for canceling a meeting.
It's up to each individual.
So if you have a quorum that shows up, that quorum can decide on whether or not you're gonna hold the meeting.
Gotcha.
That there is, that you're, I mean, and well, this is what the village did, nobody showed up, so there wasn't a quorum, so they're.
Well, they were told not to show up or at
Well,
5:30.
Here's my concern is that a meeting's scheduled and for some reason, the supervisor decides, not saying you're going to, but I mean, the supervisor decides she wants to cancel the meeting, she just canceled it, tells us all it's canceled, but the meeting's already been scheduled, it's already been posted, it's a half hour till the meeting, why did it get canceled? I mean, shouldn't that be more of a decision than just the supervisor to all of a sudden cancel a meeting?
Well,
Shouldn't it be,
yeah,
the
yeah.
meeting, you show to the meeting and then it gets canceled there at the meeting?
Yes, that's what you said, if there's a quorum and they show up,
So
then it should get decided at that point, which is what happened for us last week.
So shouldn't our
But-
policy say that meetings cannot be canceled? Should we have talked about more about that?
Because MTA said it's on purpose that there's no policy on canceling meetings.
So this is
So
just
if we
saying-
have a policy on canceling meetings, it's not gonna align with MTA.
Yeah.
Do we have to align with MTA? They're not the state, they're just an advisory.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Well, I understand that, but at the same time, so Kathy could just at any time, or the next supervisor, or the next
No, it
supervisor.
just says to ask questions, it doesn't say.
Right, and I'll just say that language there wouldn't make me change anything for that. If I came to a meeting and the agenda was on the door that said canceled, I'm still going home. I'm not gonna call a question anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know what this solves, is all I'm
And I
saying.
don't know about you, Jason, but if somebody would've called me, I would've just come back.
I was already back home, I said I wasn't coming back.
Oh. Oh, thank you. I got one of those things.
Candy did call me too, but I just was on the phone with Dana.
And I couldn't call you back.
So you never have a
Yeah, it's like
No, but I think
20 minutes after I was at home.
someone tried to call you, Bob.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, okay.
I thought someone said they called you.
Okay, but we're just looking at.
I mean, I don't have a
this
problem with that
for
language, but
policy.
honestly, that probably wouldn't have changed anything for me that happened the other day, but I don't have a problem.
That's why I thought there should be, I don't have a problem with this language, I just thought maybe something more should be added about canceling a meeting, but
Right.
that's all.
Any
I'm
more
fine.
questions about policy 2.1?
No.
Okay, so then we have a suggested change to policy 11.1. Permanent positions and temporary office help. Not all of our help works in the office.
Gotcha.
So that's
That's my
just.
change.
that's
So that just makes sense.
Okay.
Getting rid of the word off.
I'm fine
Okay,
with
so is this directed at the park development program?
And the bus
And the-
drivers,
Right, and how about
Referees.
the referees, yeah.
well, yeah, the recreation part, they have a separate part in our policy.
Yeah, they have a separate pay scale,
Right.
right?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
they do have that too. And so do the people working in the park, but yes, it's directed at both or all three groups.
Gotcha. I don't have a problem with that.
Any other questions on this one? Does anyone want to make the suggested motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, I have a motion by trustee Rumble and a seconded by trustee Cordella to approve operations manual policy 2.1 and 11.1 amendments as presented. Any other discussion?
Nope.
So we'll do a roll call.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen, Darnell,
Yes.
DePalma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, we're back to the,
I'm up again?
Yep.
yeah, purchasing procedures.
Wait a minute. Oh. All right, Dana, get your calculator.
Meeting's not over yet.
Sorry, Fred.
All right, what funds have to do with piping only, which is to pipe water out of the purge, pipe water out of the low areas, and pipe so we don't have a ditch behind the volleyball courts, and one piping at the end of the parking lot where a bioswale stops and water will build up there, so we're gonna pipe that into the.
Okay, now these are ones that have already been purchased or
One
not
of
already been
the-
purchased?
All right, so,
Yeah, everything but one item,
Has been.
yes.
all right, so how much is the pipe we already have? The exact amount?
The exact amount, let me get the right one here. And this was broken up to both grants, so half and half. The total was $2,462.25.
Okay,
So that was under
so that's the
2,500.
pipe we already have. What about the
Do we have
gravel
to
we
double
already have?
it, or you're saying you broke it up in half and half?
Yeah, $1,231 for both.
The total was 2462,
Yeah,
not
that was the total.
4,800.
And that was split between the two grants.
Okay,
And then,
So what, real fast, Fred, how did you get to 2610?
2610.
On the other side, Ben.
I
Right here.
didn't look at the bill,
Okay.
so this is.
Okay,
Okay.
just was curious.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, it's like, you know,
I saw it going.
what was the gravel amount?
People were
we
talking
already
about
spent
phone
on?
numbers out
Okay,
here.
the P-Rock, which is what I forgot to tell you guys about, that goes over the P-Rock. No, there's a reason for everything. Crushed concrete. Okay, the 6A stone, 196 ton. It came to $3,926.16, and that's grant,
That was already spent too?
yes.
Okay.
That stone's on site.
Okay,
That amount again?
3,926.16.
Yep. $3,926.16.
Okay.
And then the new pipe that we have to order yet
Okay,
is
so this
$3,200.
Hold on.
What was it again?
$3,200,
This one isn't already purchased.
500 feet, that's not purchased,
3,200 you said?
yes,
Okay.
And that's for 500 feet of pipe.
12-inch pipe.
And then how much of that 12-inch pipe did we already buy?
300
300 feet?
of the
Okay.
12-inch and 900 feet of the 4-inch.
I hate to make this more difficult, but what about the labor to put in the pipe? Where's that money coming from?
That's part of your land balance, part of the grant.
Part of the grant, part of the 1,600?
Part of your
No.
lump
No,
sum
it wouldn't
of
be
money
part
you
of
have to
That's
work with.
That's the employees.
Okay. Or the contractors, okay. And has that kind of been considered into when we're figuring out our cost of that?
No, HRC didn't figure in any pipe.
No, I know not the pipe. I'm saying when you've been kind of giving us the totals of how much you think this park is gonna
Yeah,
cost.
that's all figured in.
Was the employee's cost of doing now this extra pipe work and gravel work and the pipe all included in, or are we going to be over?
No,
Or is
it's
that-
all figured in.
Okay,
And the rental of all the equipment?
Yes.
because that part of it is Repsol.
So that's all your pipe. That's
Okay,
all your drainage.
That's
issues.
all that to fix that in one issue, right?
right?
And
Was there any more to?
two FAR issues that all tie into that.
Okay,
Okay.
so
They all
that's,
tie in
so
together.
that's less than what you were telling us before. See,
Yeah,
why
There's
it's
one
so-
other,
No. But wait, there's more.
can we be professional about this, please? Otherwise,
That was
you
a
guys will
joke.
find somebody else to do this job, because this is ridiculous.
Excuse me?
It is. That was sarcastic in my mind. I take a lot of pride doing this part, so let's.
It was a joke, Fred, lighten up.
I'm sorry, you're right, I need to lighten up.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have that soft spot that we have to get, so we can dry. It's in the parking lot, we got purging water. So everything I talked about is pipe installment. This is, now we have to drive and put the parking lot. It calls for this material anyways by print. So we had by 291 ton of crushed concrete, which was is already installed.
So
You
this
go out
is,
there, you'll see
so
it.
this is already paid, right?
Yep.
Okay.
$6,800, or $6,682.35.
So we couldn't use the stuff we got from the Oakwood?
Yeah, we got it sitting there.
No,
We-
but, okay, you just purchased $6,000 worth of crushed
That's
stuff.
very, that stuff's really
crushed
fine.
concrete, that's
Oh.
not- that's
Yeah.
not-
The
Okay.
actual millings are fine.
I'm just
Yeah.
asking, I was
Yep.
just asking.
We've used most of that asphalt up already.
Okay, I was just,
But if I got you the estimates that HRC
Okay.
estimated what it would take, we're way under. what you estimated.
okay, so $13,070.76 is what you've already spent. Okay, and then you need another
Worth
3,200.
of pipe.
So you're at 16,270.76. So Fred, the reason, and I wasn't trying to be difficult, but the reason I was asking for this is because I wanted to approve the right amount, because if we didn't approve the right amount, then you would have to be coming back to us.
Yeah.
So we would have been
So I
like
wasn't
5 grand
trying,
short.
yeah, we would have been short. So
I
I wasn't trying
understand
to be
that.
difficult, I'm just trying to do it the right way. Like we expect you to make sure it's done now the right way with everything we talked about tonight.
So Dana, did you say you got 13,077?
13,070.
That's for what's been
What was
spent.
already
Been
spent.
spent.
And then we have to spend 3,200.
On
Right.
additional pipe.
Right,
16,270.
16,270.
Do you need more rock for that, or just the pipe? Are you
No,
gonna have
just
to
the
buy
pipe.
more gravel and?
And now that's the quote I got, and I don't know what the 5, they had there's 5 end pieces that we're gonna end up buying, but that could be, that's way, like, that's probably $500, maybe $400.
But this one, you're just ripping up the ground, putting this in and putting that ground back over it.
Yep.
You don't need no pea gravel, no crushed
No, we have
gravel.
everything on set.
He just
Okay.
said you might need end pipes, so do we need to add that on?
No,
Not
that's
to
what
this
this,
invoice, no, that'd be something completely
Okay,
different order.
okay.
So you want us to approve $13,070.76 for piping, P-rock, and concrete, and an additional $3,200 for new pipe.
for 12-inch pipe, right?
Yes,
And that's 500 feet, you said?
yes.
Okay.
The 13,000's already been spent,
Yes.
Okay.
and you're asking for $3,200 more.
Or
Correct.
Okay.
what, how many inch pipe?
12 inch.
12-inch pipe.
500 feet.
12 inch. All right, does anybody want to make that motion?
I will.
I'll second.
All right, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by trustee Cordella to approve $13,070.76 for piping, P-rock, and concrete, and an additional $3,200 for 500 feet of 12-inch pipe.
This, Terry has a question. This 16,000 has nothing to do with
Moving the soil.
the moving the soil of the 16.
No, this is to fix the water issue
Yes.
that was found when the soil was moved.
Well, I just put a note up here that said 8,610 already spent.
That was the 2610 that he was telling us,
Okay.
and the 6 that he was telling us of this.
Right.
This turned out to be
Numbers
24, the
changed.
2610 turned out to be the
Right.
2462.
Right.
And the 6 that he was adding, that we were adding to the 2610 turned out to be 6682. This is brand new that we just learned about, and then this is the new stuff he's been talking about.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, any other questions?
There's mine.
Okay, roll call, please.
Allen? Darnell?
I
No.
couldn't hear her.
She said no.
No.
De Palma?
Yes.
Cordella?
Yes.
Marshall?
No.
Rumble?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes. Motion carries.
Well, please hear me, I want to make one more comment without being interrupted. I appreciate trustee Marshall for your nice comment about being a rec director and all that. But if you do some research, my application that I put into this, when I got hired over 20 years ago, stated that I was in the construction field and I built baseball fields, I've operated heavy equipment, I've done drainage, I've done everything that's going on at that park. So I take a lot of pride in this. And then when I get smirks and upset, it does upset me, and I apologize for that.
No problem. Wasn't mad, upsets me.
Okay, so in the future, if you have any other purchases and it's a non-emergency basis,
Right.
make sure you bring it to us and we'll
Well, it
get
sounds
a,
like
we'll
even
get
an
a-
emergency basis.
A quick
Yeah.
meeting
Hey,
together.
hey.
That's what she just said.
Yeah, we'll get a hand,
Emergency
we'll
is a
get,
quick-
we can get 4 people here quickly.
Anything over 2,500, you need to get 3 quotes and you need to come to us.
If you can't get 3 quotes, then we understand.
Right.
Right.
But if you can,
Right.
we
Right, but we want you to try.
Well, you still have to come to us.
Right.
That's the rules of anything we do.
I can make phone calls if we ever decide.
Yeah, but I haven't sent you an email.
Something with
Yeah,
letterhead,
from the
so.
phone.
Need some
you
sort
know
of hard-
No, I
exactly.
meant, I can make phone calls to you guys.
Oh, well, Kathy's probably gonna call us to get a
Yeah.
meeting together.
We
but-
don't have to
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
meeting.
You can call me whenever you want, I'll let you know, I don't care. But-
Right.
Is that it?
Okay, so going forward. Okay, thank you.
And try to take in our,
I'm okay, I'm okay.
Okay,
Have a
so
safe trip home.
at this time, we will entertain citizens' comments on anything.
I got a few quick things to say. My name's Rick Gibbons from Ortonville here. As you know, I live on the Sashball Road project. I've been asked also to speak for Pheasant Ridge subdivision. They are tired of having traffic cut through. They know it's gonna get worse whenever it's paved. It's a private road, they're gonna block it. They have every right to. I've already talked to the Oakland County Road Commission. It's a private road. White sign, private road, so they have that right.
where are they cutting, where are people?
At Lockwood, they come off of Lockwood, cut through their subdivision, they have tore up their pavement.
I didn't realize you could get through there.
Uh-huh. And people have been saying, ooh, I can't wait until the blacktop's done. Well, they're gonna put a stop to it. Okay, secondly, Zito Brothers are doing the construction work. The best group of guys you could ever imagine. They bust ass, excuse me, from 7:30 to 5:30, okay? There is no quiet dump trucks. I don't care what Fred says. No offense, Fred. That tailgate slams to get that dirt out, and it's like a gun going off, okay?
It is loud.
The bulldozers, constant, quick, 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 as they go down the road. I'm willing to put up with all that just to get the project done. Okay? Another thing is, not one place on that road have they put in a 12-inch drain. 6-inch drains everywhere, except for culverts, pipes, heavy water drainage. I don't know what we needed a 12-inch drain for up there, okay? You gotta have massive water flow for a 12-inch pipe. I'm not gonna contradict Fred, he says he knows what he's doing. But I would like, I talked to this guy from the county, every load of dirt that comes in, every load of gravel, he gets a slip for it. The guy from the county does. They account for every truck of topsoil goes up to Zito's to get sorted and screened. And it's coming back to us to be filled in, to save us money. So I don't know what's going on at that park, but it don't sound good. That's all I got to say.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
The very first thing I'd like to say, real quick, I invite you to come out and see, and then, you know, and I invite everybody on the board, come out and see. I had Kathy and Fred posted the dozer with the GPS, and you can see it for themselves what the dozer shows, the profile is. In regards to the topsoil. What's your name, sir? That topsoil was in a spot that needed to be moved.
Roger Engel.
That topsoil needed to be, Roger Engel, I'm sorry. That topsoil needed to be moved, we could either move it with haul trucks, wait 4 hours a yard, or I could throw it in the truck and load it out. I did that to see if we could barter with them to get a better price. Once he gets loaded topsoil, he sees what he has. There's 3 different piles I loaded out, that's why we had 3 different loads go out, and one was out of the same pile. Barry said he was interested, and he hasn't got back with us what he's willing to credit us for on trucking. That's the attempt. We need to get credits for what we can do.
But you don't have the ability to do that.
We're-
Well,
and-
I have a real quick question, okay? I'm hired to do what?
To not make decisions on behalf of the
Okay,
township.
so
If I'm not making no decisions, I might as well go home.
this is not,
That's up to you.
this is
There's
not
nothing
what,
that can be
this
done
is
on the
not
job
your, this is
without
not
Not a
what
discussion.
you're
This
I'm
is
running
not a
8 guys
So
discussion.
just go
8
ahead,
men.
Do it the right way.
just go ahead and continue your comment, please.
This is a citizen's comment, that very simply, somebody has to be in charge of running a job site. But I cannot be there 24/7. That's what I was hired for, that's what the bid was for.
No, you weren't hired.
If that's not what it's for, please, let me know, I'll resign today.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else that would make?
Go ahead.
No, you go. I've already done it once, I want to go again.
We're going to 10 acres, by the way. It's massive water.
They're bringing in a mile.
My name is JT. I live in-
Excuse me, if you want to speak,
Gentlemen,
please go
yeah,
out to
please.
the outside. JT.
Jay Taylor, I live in Brandon Township. I just want to thank the board for really asking some tough questions tonight. I was starting to get very concerned when I heard we've got people buying things without authority, exceeding their authority, and I really appreciate you stepping up to that and addressing it, so thank you so much. The other thing is, normally, I don't know about Brandon Township because I'm new here, but generally you don't give the department head the authority to do buys or to do bids for areas they're responsible for. So if that's our policy here, I would recommend you really take a look at that. I know we don't have a purchasing department, but that's very bad thing. Because you're designing the specifications, you're getting the bids, you're making the awards, apparently making changes without bringing things forward. It's just a big concern. Two other things. I'm very disappointed with the tax increase. I did read that there was going to be a hearing in the paper. No details on what was included in it or how I would participate in it. I'm very, very disappointed. Last thing, I went online. There was nothing posted for the agenda for tonight. There's no materials for the meeting tonight, and there's no minutes as of this afternoon. So is that normal? Okay,
We can speak to that about that after the meeting.
thank you.
Yes, thank you.
It's me again. I forgot to mention one thing. At Granger and Sashball Road, I talked to the site engineer. We've got 9 driveways within a 300-foot circle, 4 roads. I asked, are you going to put stop signs on Granger Road or just Sashball? Until somebody gets hurt or there's a wreck, they have no plans. To me, that's an awful lot of entryways, considering that you have Hadley Road where Granger crosses, they have stop signs. People shoot through Granger Road like it's a 60-mile-an-hour freeway. Okay, now they're going to have a little paved section. They can hit that, get airborne, they can do anything. I think stop signs should be put up. But until somebody gets killed, we can't have them, I guess. That's what I was told. You got to have an incident. So I don't know who goes to the county from the board, but somebody needs to go there and say something. 9 driveways and 4 roads. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to make a comment? Okay, so at this point, we'll do board comments. We'll start down at this end.
I said what I needed to say tonight, I have nothing else.
Okay, Dana?
I'm wondering if the Parks and Rec subcommittee should meet to discuss some of the stuff that was just mentioned by Roger of what he's been hired for and not hired for, and what's gonna happen with that topsoil, because I thought I heard him just say that if we do get the money, then part of it has to be credited towards the trucking, and I don't agree with it because we never approved it, so I would like to meet Fred. So we can get everything, made sure that
And that's
everything's
probably a good
done
idea.
correctly and next year. The other thing is I'd like to check to verify, I never looked online to see if the stuff was online, but I'm pretty sure it typically is online, so let's talk after.
Okay, Treasurer?
Nothing.
I just wanted to say that I did speak to the road commission about stop signs. I agree that we need stop signs there at Sashbaugh and Granger. So I have expressed my concern about that as well.
They told me if we get them now, it's a lot easier than after they're done.
Yeah, I
So-
definitely need them.
You mean after they're done with the job?
Yeah.
Because what's happening is you're going to gravel, pavement, gravel.
Right.
And you really need to slow down there.
Yeah.
Well, and my concern is that they said that the reason that it was always cut off, like the coming up Sashaba, you went gravel over the intersection, they said that was a problem, so I can't imagine now that it's not gonna be a problem on Granger.
Right, exactly.
They always said it was.
That's why I
Yeah.
had that concern.
Yeah, and there's that sub right there too, so there's a lot of little traffic there. Cause aren't they
Oh,
feeding
yeah.
kind of to
They
that
stop on
sub that
Sashaba.
can go in off of Granger?
That's
That's the Pleasant Ridge, okay.
okay, good. Oh, she would like everyone to attend Septemberfest at the end of the month. Of course.
We'll be there.
I'm looking forward to that.
Again, Fred's done a great job at Septemberfest. It'll be fun again. The other thing is I would like to congratulate our supervisor for being a multiple medaled senior Olympian. Very cool. You were keeping that all a secret, weren't you?
Well, it wasn't supposed to be about the medals, it was supposed to be about the pool.
Oh, it's about the medals. It's always about
It's
winning.
about
Congratulations. Senior Olympics, she won 5 medals.
Oh, what was that?
It's in the paper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't read the paper.
All right, Chris.
I got one comment, and that is, I would like to thank Scott Broughton for all the work that you've been doing. Not gratis, a lot of volunteer work, a lot of heads-up play, a lot of keeping your, coming to meetings on a monthly basis. My hat's off to you, and all the work you've done for the Parks and Rec Department, so congratulations. Well done. That's all.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right, so at this time we can adjourn. Who would like to make the motion?
Absolutely.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Marshall and a second by trustee Cordella. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.